Everybody to the workshop this evening. For March 16th, we're going to be talking about, as soon as I find it, general assistance, insurance, General assistance, insurance, community services, organizational support, utilities, debt services, revenues, capital improvements, and we're also adding to that at the end, admin salaries. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We're going to start with general assistance.
Wrong page. What page, Mark?
That is on page 24. Sorry. You're going to see at the top that it actually says administration salaries. So part of the clerk's salary, it's actually 30% comes out of GA. So keep that in mind.
Oh, you want me to go?
Sure.
So Mark hit on the salary. And then there's really just two lines to general assistance. The miscellaneous supplies, I've brought that down to zero. Most of my supplies for GA are used for all my daily work, a staple or a paper clip, a folder. So we've just merged that into the admin supply line. And then the general assistance line, we're leaving that at $15,000. That covers any type of rental assistance, which most people know that rents are going up. You can't find a decent rent under $1,000 these days. And we're getting ready to go into CMP shut-off time, where if someone hasn't paid their CMP bill, they can come to the town and ask for assistance. So we're coming into that time. And I do get 70% return from the state, and that goes into a revenue line when we get to revenues. You have any questions for me?
So you, I'm sorry, you had 15,000 set aside or 10,000? Or you've got 15,000?
15,000 this year, and we've left it at 15.
And you've only used 23%?
Correct. But we're coming into more.
No,
more
that's fine.
time.
So your 15,000 you feel is enough then?
I think so, with everything that is increasing. When you just have to pay one person's rent, it's over $1,000 for the most of the time, so.
Through the chair.
Yes.
So that's for rental assistance and for CMP?
Rental, CMP, food, fuel, any type of assistance food.
Thank you.
I'm good. Anybody?
I'm all set.
Thank you, Audra.
You're welcome.
Moving on to page 25, insurance. This one should be pretty straightforward. Sherry and I could cover it. Needless to say, everything is always going up, year in, year out. So the two biggest things that we noted was workers' compensation. There's 11.6% decrease. And then the group insurance, that includes health increase 9%, dental 5%, and also covering 80% for dependents. Again, if we need to get into it, I think Sherry has a little more information on for that line, the group insurance and why it's gone up. But I know a lot of that is also contractual as well.
So those figures are based on what we're currently paying right now. We won't have figures for next year until November or December They go off a calendar year as opposed to fiscal year.
The group insurance line, which I was not aware that, I knew we were paying for all the employees' insurance. What I didn't know is we pay for the entire family, is that correct?
The town covers 80% of dependents, and you guys voted on that as a council. That was an order that you guys voted on.
The council voted on that.
Yes.
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 Okay, so through the chair, I just want to make sure the numbers, I'm understanding this correctly. So the town pays for a single individual $16,313 for
Correct.
health insurance.
Yes.
So for a single person with one child, the town pays $24,557.
Correct.
And for an entire family, the town pays $32,536
Yes.
for the entire family. Okay. Thank you.
And that's at the 80%?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a limit on dependents you can have on there as far as children?
I don't believe so. No.
And the fees don't increase at all as you tier up the number of folks on the
I don't
policy?
believe so. No.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But
Through
the
the
group
chair.
insurance is going up this year, is that what you said?
Yes. They had an increase starting in January was the increase.
Okay, and through the chair?
Yes.
The town pays, should an employee decide to go with a retirement plan, the ICMA, they contribute up to 9% on the retirement plan.
Correct.
And they also contribute for the Main State Retirement Plan, the town will contribute up to 10.2%.
Right, but it's one or the other, not.
One or the
not
other,
both.
correct.
Right.
Thank you.
Through the chair, Sherry, I'd ask you on, the money that we pay for the insurance, is there a deductible also that they have to pay? If they
Each
had?
employee has their own deductibles.
Okay,
yes.
so it varies, is it because?
Depending on the plan, I would assume, yes.
Okay, now, is this out of one insurance company that the plan is for everybody that we have here as employees? Or are they different insurance companies?
I believe it's one company.
One
Yes.
company?
Yeah.
Okay, so the actual money that they would pay out of their pocket is pretty much substantial for everybody, right? If they were going to the hospital, say one person going to the hospital, there's a deductible. Is that deductible the same as everybody else's?
For the
For that
same-
particular thing, let's say they're going for heart surgery. Are they going to have the same deductible as the next person that's probably?
I believe so.
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Yeah.
Through the chair. Oh,
I'm sorry,
Doris.
go ahead, Katie.
Do we have just one offering for health insurance, or do we have different things like a,
We
know,
go through
FSA,
MMA.
HSA?
Oh, you mean?
Things that are lower cost, right? Because like some folks don't need a lot of medical
Yeah.
care.
Yes.
Tanya's going to come up and
Thank
assist
you.
with this.
Appreciate that very much.
She has a lot of historical knowledge.
No mic up there? Oh, I see.
Thank you, Tanya.
You're good. I was just shaking my head in the audience. So we offer, for health insurance, we only offer one plan. We only offer it's called the PPO 500, which is now called the Katahdin plan. That is the only plan we offer for health insurance. We do offer an FSA, which is your flexible spending account, which is in here. We do also offer, well, it's actually mandatory, employees have to pay into an RHS, which is a retirement health savings account. We actually, employees are mandatory to pay 1.5% of their salary into this. And to answer your question about Main State Retirement, 10.2 is only non-unions. For the police department, we pay 15.7. And for the fire, we pay 13.2. So non-union, we contribute less.
And also, does the town offer short-term and long-term disability benefits?
We offer short-term only, which is called income protection, and that is employee-based only. The employer does not pay to that. And that varies. They can either contribute 40%, 55%, or 70% of their salary. And that's completely up to the employee what they pick.
Through
Thank
the-
you.
You're welcome.
Through the chair, Tanya, could you explain to us what the FSA, what the whole
So
thing
yeah,
is
your
on that?
FSA is your flexible spending account. I want to say there's 10 of us that contribute to it. So basically what it is, it's like a medical card that you can put so much money on up front. You put money on it up front, so if you want $1,000 on your FSA, we put $1,000 in your card, we then take that $1,000 and we split it up between the 26 pay periods that you have in that calendar year, and the employee has to pay it in. So we're paying on that money, and you can use that towards your deductibles, your co-pays, anything that insurance doesn't cover, like over-the-counter medications, anything like co-insurances, co-deductibles, anything. You can use that card towards that.
So the town pays for that?
No, employee does.
Employees do, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then it's up to them how much they pay, depending on how much they wanted to put on that card. So most employees pay anywhere between $20 to $50 a pay period towards that, depending on how much they want to put on. They could put on, I believe, a maximum is $3,800 they could put on the card for the year.
Okay, so you said every pay period, which is every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks we get paid, yes.
The coverage that we offer the employees, is that dental and vision as well for the
Nope,
entire family?
vision is paid 100% by the employee. The town covers so for health insurance, the town covers the employee and 80% of dependents.
Okay.
For dental, the town covers 100% just employee. We do not cover any dependents on dental.
So there's no braces or anything like that for the children?
Correct.
Wow.
Or vision,
But
I'm sorry.
and vision is 100% employee
Just the
paid.
employee, thank you.
Yes.
And do you know how much the dental plan is for total for the town? That
It's
coming out?
557
Thank
per
you.
I beg your
employee. 557,
$5.50 or
557.
For the year.
For the year.
Is what the town covers per employee.
per employee.
Yes.
Now, I think that's pretty good coverage for what we have for a town here, opposing to
Yep.
some of the big companies like
And that's
Sappi
obviously,
and all
that's
those
for,
things.
that's no matter what plan you have. So
Right.
employee, like she said, the town only pays for the employee
But they
of
do
dental.
pay- Yeah, they do pay 100% of the employees' dental.
Employees, yes,
Well, I
And
know,
nothing for vision.
correct.
well, I know the big companies, of course, they pay in so much of the insurance, but they don't get dental for the children either, or they
Yeah.
don't get any of that. But I think what we have for policy right now for our people are pretty darn good.
Okay, what else you
you.
got?
What other, I know Sherry can answer most of them. I tried to
I did have one
do
more
the
question.
nods and the crowd.
Tanya's the insurance wizard.
Go ahead, Katie.
Sure.
So you talked about the PPO, but
Yes.
have we ever looked at like a health spending account, something that maybe would be a little bit more affordable for the town and the person paying that 20%? You know what I mean?
I
Does that make
have
sense?
not looked into it. I just know about the RHS, the FSA, and
Yeah.
then we obviously have an HRA, which is
Yep.
included, which we cover, like Mike said, the deductible. So we cover an
Okay.
HRA, depending on what plan you pick also, we
Yeah.
cover you. It's
'Cause, like, health-
1,500 for single and 3,000 for family.
Okay. Because health spending accounts, they usually are for folks that don't go to the doctor that often, and so they have a much lower premium.
Right.
And usually used for like preventative and things like that. And so folks, like I said, who don't go to the doctor that often, their 20% contribution would be much, much lower because PPOs normally have more robust coverage. And that's great, especially
Right.
for people who have chronic illnesses and things like that, but maybe overkill for folks who don't have anything like that going on. So maybe just something we could talk about for the future.
Yeah. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tanya.
Welcome.
Are we all set on insurance? All right, moving on. Page 26. Community services. So we'll start with the Kennebec County tax. Right now, we have a 12% increase. We're still waiting on the official number. Again, Sherry could touch a little more on that. This feels like an honest assessment of where we'll be. We're hoping for a little under that. But again, that's kind of the placeholder until we get actual figures from the state.
And we don't have a choice on that.
We
That's
don't
it.
have control over that.
That's it, we have to pay it no matter
So,
what. Yep.
you know, the hope is that they come under and we're saving some money. But I think 12% is a fair number to settle on right now. And I'll just go down the line. Next line, planning board. We are keeping it even at 2,000. Humane Society, again, we bumped it up to 19,000 to cover that contract, which is 18 and change. Cemeteries, keeping it flat, 4,000. And again, me saying keeping it flat from last fiscal year. KRDA First Park went up less than $500. I know there's been questions regarding First Park, and fortunately for us, we do have Ray on the council, and he's been involved with KRDA for a long time. So if there are any more questions regarding KRDA, I'm going to respectfully defer to Ray. He has a lot of institutional knowledge.
I just want to say something about the KRDA First Park. Years ago, all of these towns, 23, 24 of them, got together and decided to pool it all together to make First Park, and then we were going to get returns on money from businesses that started there, from taxes. What's happened is we've been there and we've probably put over $1 million to First Park that the town of Winslow has paid, and we've only showed to get back half of that. So we're putting in $1 million. We've only brought back, I think you've got the numbers, less than maybe 400,000. We're paying a lot of money and not seeing any return. So that is a conversation we're going to get to, and I think we'll probably have them come and ask them, where's the bang for the buck?
Yeah, just if I might, I've only been on for 2 years, so I want to make that pretty clear, 2.5 years. So I wasn't there at the beginning, but we are paying $36,000. This year we're getting back, I haven't got the final figure yet, but about 42. So we're netting.
We netted 6,000 only,
We're
though.
netting $6,000. If you take the 42 minus the 36, we're about, so we are getting back, and that's for the last couple of years. So, if we get out, it's impossible, almost impossible legally to get out. There's a lot of penalties. The town would be financially responsible, and I don't suggest that at all, just because at least at this point in time, we're putting in 36, getting 42. There's a new CEO there now, Christina Logan. We actually have a meeting with her next week, or first week in April, I think. And so we're going to sit down with her. I think you've been invited to that meeting. And so we're going to sit down, and she's going to give us and she'll be more than happy to come to this meeting or a council meeting in the future to, she's only been on the job for, about 8 weeks. So, but I'm very encouraged, not just for First Park and the lots that we have left to sell and the jobs, but also for the region. And I think when we meet, we'll look at Winslow as a whole and the opportunities industrial-wise and land that would be great for looking at a more regional type of.
How long we been contributing, the 35 or more
Since '98, I think, right?
every year?
Yeah, it's been 20 plus years.
So 20 plus years, we've been giving them 36,000. We're not getting anything back. We just got back 6,000. When you say 42, it's a little deceiving.
Yes,
we netted
because it's a sliding
6,000.
scale. At the beginning, when there was no infrastructure.
But it's
the
20 years,
taxes-
Ray.
The taxes, that was, year one, you're paying 36, you're not getting anything back. And then T-Mobile, you got the accounting firm, you've got a lot of Maine General buildup, so the taxable taxes are sent to Oakland for that First Park. Oakland has an agreement to redistribute those taxes to the communities that are involved. So right now, we have enough taxable income so that we're netting, right now, after everything is paid, 42.
After paying $1 million.
No, through the chair, yeah, we've paid over the last 30 years at 36,000. That's $1,080,000.
And we've only gotten back not even half of that money. So we're losing $500,000 by doing this. I think we need to call a meeting, have them come, present, but we honestly need to start thinking, if there is a way, we can put it to legal. There's no contract that's iron for 20 years. I believe that land is even, they're all paid. They took out a loan, which we were part of, it's all paid off. So who's getting all the money if we're not getting any back? That's a question we're just gonna have
They
to.
have a budget, they have a CEO, they have another employee, they have marketing that they're trying to do to sell the rest of the lands. They have some infrastructure needs that they're responsible for on site. So, but I think Christine, when she comes, can answer those questions a lot better. You gotta remember that First Park was not just, if you look at just the financial returns, it's dismal. And there's no way to look at the last 20 years and say that the town of Winslow financially has benefited from First Park. But there's roughly around 500 plus jobs that are up in that facility that are through the communities. So First Park, yes, the return of investment, but also that investment ensured 500 plus jobs for the community, surrounding communities. So that's something that, you know, although maybe financially, you know, we can't put money in our pockets, job-wise and community-wise, it employs a lot of people.
Well, and I think the ROI just started kind of happening now anyway when it comes to actual monetary money involved. Beforehand,
years.
right, so 4 hands out of the last 20-something years. So I would almost argue, yes, we need to look into it deeply, but it would almost be fiscally irresponsible to pull out now, pay all these penalties when we've already invested all of this money, where now at least we're getting something back. Again, I've maybe made the joke it might take 50 years, but at least we're seeing money back now. Again, I'm hopeful for bigger changes with First Park, but I'm looking forward to the meeting because there's a lot of questions I also still have regarding First Park in general and Winslow's involvement with it long term.
Through the chair, Ray, you said there's consequences if we pulled out, and I know Rome tried to pull out and they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Now, how is it that we wound up in a one-sided contract, especially where we had a bond, they had a bond, the bond is paid off, so that releases, I would think, the debt that was supposed to be paid on that. But the other thing too, what bothers me is that we got all these lots there. We have what, Sherry, is it 11 lots that we have there now? That's not,
I'm not-
they're not
Ray would know
occupied?
that.
Is it 11 or?
I think it's 7.
7 of them?
7 left.
Okay, well, these are supposed to be creating jobs. I don't see solar panels creating jobs, and that, I think, would be probably a breach of contract, having solar panels instead of having a company that would employ people to be working there, because there's nobody there to watch those solar panels move back and forth. So I think a one-sided contract, I think we ought to look into legal on that and find out and say, hey, look, this doesn't sound right. And I mean, it's going to take us 50 years. It might take us more than 50 years to get for payback. So you know what? Instead of having that kind of money being put into it, we can put it elsewhere and probably make more money in the interest just in the money that we're putting into it. I mean, we put in, I think it was the last year, the year before, we put $200,000 into the bank, and we made what? Was it $10,000 we got back?
About.
And that was 10 grand. So I think we ought to look at this very carefully.
All I can say is I've been on for 2.5 years, and I've asked these questions, hard questions. I've been extremely vocal with the return for my role as on First Park. Extremely, I think I've represented the town in the financial interests of the town and the direction that First Park was going in. My displeasure for some of the issues that we faced in the past. I have optimism for the future with the current CEO and what they have accomplished in the short term. I mean, getting infrastructure in an industrial park is not like a light switch. It is years in the making sometime for when you look at a prospective company to the time they groundbreak to the time they actually start infrastructure contributing to the taxes. So this is not something that, you know what I mean, that
I think it's just something to visit. I think it's something we need to look at, because looking at that $36,000 a year and losing it, a lot of it every year after year, is costing the residents a lot of money. So I think
it
we could
has in the
discuss it.
past, but right now we're netting
$6,000.
Yes, but we're getting back 42. We're paying 36, but we're getting 42. So we're not really causing any harm to the taxpayers of the town of Winslow.
This year, but we've lost over 400 grand, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah,
We're finally
over
at
the
a
20
point.
years.
Finally at a point now, though, that we're actually making some money back.
Yes.
We went through the hard part, and now we're at the point where we're seeing some return. So it would be nice to at least exhaust all options, in my opinion, before we just pull the
Yes.
plug on the whole thing
I'm
after
not a
20
lawyer.
years.
I'm not a lawyer, but I do know what lawyers charge from. And I know that reading the contract to get out of this would, with the lawyer's fee plus the penalties, it's whoever crafted the contract.
Ray, could we
No,
get a
what's
copy
the
of?
name of the person? What is the name of the person? Mills? Something Mills?
Oh,
He's the head of that, isn't he? KRDA. Is
Mills.
it Peter?
Peter Mills.
Peter Mills.
He's in part of that, isn't he?
I think he's the brother of our governor.
He's not an active member that I've ever seen him at any of the meetings right now.
No, I think he
There's an
partially
executive
owns it.
board. He might be on the executive board, but I've never seen him at a meeting.
It doesn't even matter. We can move on. We can all agree.
I got one question
I'm
I have
sorry,
to
go
ask.
ahead, Mike.
Can we get a copy of that contract that they have?
You actually received a contract either this morning, the email that Steve Susi sent out.
Yeah?
Had the contract for a termination contract in that,
Okay.
that you had.
Is there
So
a way to
it's
get a
there.
budget as well? You said they have a budget.
Yeah, oh, God, I believe I sent that to you guys. Maybe I did not, but, yeah, we can get a budget.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
sure.
you, Ray.
Of course.
Okay, and let's move right on.
Okay, Mid-Main Chamber, $30 up from last year. Zoning Board of Appeals, kept that flat at 2,000. Employee Safety Comm, we actually dropped that down. So that went from 6,600 to 5,500. The Ag Commission, that is staying flat at 1,000. The Assessors Overlay, we got rid of that. So that's no longer included. Contingency, that is also removed. Assessing Board of Review, we dropped that down from 2,000 to 1,000. Banking fees, that went from 19.5 up to 18K. The billing impound will now come out of this, so there's been some consolidation there. Sales of property, expect that actually, let me see, that's been removed as well, so that's no longer in this, that's not a budget line. Set by the assessor commitment, so that's the VMFSP, that's 7,500, that stays flat as well. The Main Service Centers Coalition, that was dropped to nothing. That's been removed, I think, from the budget line in general. And then KV Cog stayed flat, 11,955.
Mark, if I could.
Please.
We can remove that because part of that can be funded with a TIF,
Thank you.
so we can take that out.
Which one?
The KV cog,
We can remove that 11,900?
yes.
And that, is that showing up somewhere else, or is that?
Yep, that's on the TIF, well, that will be included with the TIFs.
A question, maybe you can answer me, Sherry. The $9,500 that was budgeted for '26 for banking fees, you said that's going up to 18,000?
Prior to this year, the billing impound charges that the bank charges were coming out of a different account. We moved them to banking fees. We're consolidating.
Now, is this the same bank that we put money into an account that we got, well, I think we made 10,000 on?
It's all through Bangor Savings.
It's all through Bangor? Have we considered that also, that it may go in there so we can make some money on the interest on that? I mean, $10,000 where the money's just sitting and we can remove it at any time without any penalties. If we haven't done that again this past year, we should be looking into doing it again, because instead of having our money sitting there doing nothing, why not make $10,000, $20,000?
It's good consideration.
So I think we ought to put that in there.
How come where do we see Central Maine Growth Council? Shouldn't that be on this page? Or is
That's
it-
being funded through a TIF.
TIF, okay.
And that's why KV Cog's going to move over
Okay,
to the TIF
yep.
as well.
I hear you.
Any questions on insurance?
Oh, that's just insurance, yeah, never mind.
Do you have a question?
No, it's not the insurance part of it.
All right, moving forward. Page 27, organizational support. We'll start right at the top. Fort Halifax Days, Fall Festival.
If I might, just that I have I'm on the Friends of Fort Halifax, so I have a conflict of interest, so I just want to state that before the presentation.
So are you saying you're going to accuse yourself if there's voting in any
Yes,
way?
I'm abstract for anything to do
Okay.
with that.
Thank you, Ray. We kept it flat at 3K from last year. Memorial Day, VFW, there's nothing in that line, and there hasn't been for the last couple of years, so we kept that to 0. The bus service KV cap, 10,000. That's contract, and the contract's on page 50 and 51. You could review some of the contracts there. Boys and Girls Club, kept it at 500 from last year. Winslow League went from 25 to 2,000.
What is that?
The Winslow League.
Does anybody know?
Amanda?
It's Cal Ripken baseball.
Yeah, sorry, that's Cal Ripken baseball and youth softball.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that. Winslow Youth Football, 1,500. That went up to 2,000.
I'm sorry.
15 to 2,000.
I know we dropped down on those two sports things. Is that enough, Amanda, or you guys think that drop, is it going to affect the programs? Because they're good programs, I'd hate to see.
Yeah, originally I thought it was going to stay at 2,500, but yeah, we use that money to help keep registrations low. We do a sponsorship program, and it takes care of equipment needs and field supplies, really.
So do you think 2,000?
All that stuff, especially equipment, everything's really rising across the board, right? So,
Is that going to be enough?
in my opinion,
Through the chair.
That will be enough.
Good,
Did you say 2,500 would be enough? Or 2,000?
2,000.
So the year prior, it was 1,500, then it went up to
I see
2,500,
it.
and I've dropped it down to
Yeah.
2K.
Yep, I
Okay.
see it.
Okay, I mean, I personally coached baseball for the minors for Cal Ripken last spring and summer. And, you know, I have to say they're working with equipment that's pretty aged. They're doing a great job trying to fundraise on their own and really make up the difference. But there's a lot of kids that benefit from that program. I know $500 adds up if we do it for every program. But to Tony, right, to your point, I think that with the rising cost of equipment and with the impacts that we have economically happening with the families as well, I'd like to see us keep it at 2,500. If there's strong disagreement, I'm willing to speak about that, but.
No, I agree. I like that.
Are there scholarship programs for kids who can't pay to play?
yes, we offer 50% to those who reach out.
But there's no scholarship of complete paying for those who can't afford to play. So if they can't afford, they can't play. Okay.
I think it hasn't happened yet, but we would certainly try to meet their needs as best as they can. You know, it's all about getting the numbers and keeping the kids happy. And
Sure.
Okay, so through the chair, are we going to agree to keep it at the 2,500?
I got a question first, excuse me, through the chair. Now, you're saying that you brought it down to 2,000. Do you believe that that's sufficient enough for the kids that cannot pay any of that, that we have enough money there so they can play and we pay for the full amount?
I honestly don't think it is. I think 2,500 is a better number. That's because we use this money across the board to help upkeep the equipment as well as keep those registration costs down.
Mm-hmm.
So registrations are between $30 and $40 for the younger age groups.
I don't know if it'll
and then
come
get
all
up
the
to
way
50
up
or
here. It's
60
not over there.
for the higher age groups. And so a small handful does qualify, or they have reached out for a scholarship request.
Yeah.
But I do feel like $2,500 would be better because the equipment side of things is going up.
Okay, so with that being said, the $2,500, the $2,500 that we're looking at, Have you ever run out of money that you could not sponsor a child fully?
No, but when we fundraise and we get all of our registration money coming in the beginning, then it's paying the insurance, paying the chartering for the Cal Ripken, the equipment. That number depletes rather quickly. And so by the end of the season, we're still scraping by basically with what we've gotten in.
I think we ought to go to the 2,500.
I want you all to look too, just to consider, devil's advocate, that before it was 1,500. We did increase it up by 500 already. So you want to increase it by 1,000 instead of the 500.
I think so. I would think that, with the kids today, they need a place to be going and getting into these sports. And just because, some families can't afford it, I think this town here would be nice to see those kids that can't go, that they would go if they had the money to go. I say 2,500.
We don't have full scholarships, Mike. They don't do that.
Through the chair, what we can do, we've done in the past, is just put in council recommendation of 2,500, and then we can either show of hands that we approve of that 2,500, or at the end, when we get all the figures, we can then go back and approve 2,500. Either way, we've done it in the past. It's up to the council whether they want to wait. But I believe that any financial matters that we increase or decrease should have a show of hands.
Okay.
That's just my take on it.
Which is what we're moving to, so we can do that now. You don't have to wait till the end.
You don't have to. Huh?
Right.
You can do either way.
So, show of hands, who wants to increase it to the 2,500 rather than the increase of the 500 to the 2,000? So, moved.
Through the chair, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
Exactly, we just voted on it, so we're all
No,
good.
not to
Something
this one
else.
particularly. Mike Hefner would like to present on the Fort Halifax days.
Fort Halifax days?
Yes.
Friends of Fort
Friends
Halifax.
of Fort
Friend, so if you get to the microphone, anybody who's gonna speak has to come up to the mic, okay? I should have picked that up sooner. Thank you, Mike.
All right, so we're going back to the top line.
Well, that's... Whoops, sorry. Sure. Sorry about that.
That's
Lee.
okay.
I just didn't even look. I apologize, but...
No, no more. That's it.
Meet you outside afterwards. Is it okay to
Go
get
ahead.
started?
There you go.
Thank you. My name's Mike Hevener. I'm a Winslow resident. I'm also a member of the Friends of Fort Halifax. And the Friends of Fort Halifax is proposing that we do a summer, or that we partner with the town to do a summer concert series. And I will add too that Friends of Fort
Excuse me.
Halifax.
Mike, could you speak into the microphone a little bit?
Sure.
You can slide it closer.
A
Thank
little
you.
bit closer. How's that?
Yeah,
A little better, yeah.
A little better, thanks. The Friends of Fort Halifax and the town of Winslow have had a partnership for many, many years. I worked for the town for a period of time, and even prior to that, some folks think I'm ancient, but I'm not quite that old. But even prior to that, the Friends of Fort Halifax were very much involved in the park, in the blockhouse, improving that area. And when I retired, I was fortunate enough to be able to join the group. So there's a presentation, and I'm just going to go through it rather quickly. If there's any questions, please feel free to ask. A couple of things I wanted to point out, or would like to point out. In 2022, let me go back a little bit further. In 2022, we put up new signs down in the park. And if you go to the third page, you can see the signs. There's the granite marker. The Friends of Fort Halifax partnered with the town to do that. We also, Friends of Fort Halifax donated $5,500 to re-roof the blockhouse, and we partnered with the state and the town to accomplish that. In 2022, we put up granite markers to mark
the corners of the old fort and the buildings that were in the fort. That gave folks that visited that an opportunity to get a sense of how big the fort was back in the day. In 2023, we installed 2 sections of palisade fencing. You probably have seen those.
Yes.
That, I think, has been a big improvement. We've also been, and Ray's been instrumental in this, opening the blockhouse during the week or on the weekends, so visitors can actually go into the blockhouse, and there's displays there. There's a TV monitor with information scrolling through. Ray actually had put all that together. So now we would like to, this year, for the first time, do a summer concert series. We're proposing, on the last page, you'll see we're proposing 8 concerts for a total cost of $6,250. We think we can get private donations of $2,000. We're hoping the town will contribute $2,000, and then the Friends of Fort Halifax will make up the difference that's needed, whatever's needed to get to the $6,250 to be able to actually do the summer concert series. So that's our proposal.
Mike, we do have in our proposal 3,000 for you.
Oh,
That's
No,
for Fort
that's
Halifax
for-
Days.
That's for the, okay.
That's for
yep,
days.
thank
This
you.
would be a
Thank
new
you.
organizational request.
Got
that
it.
needs
So
to be
this is actually a new
added.
budget line
It's
you want
not
to add.
on
It's
the
not on
budget
this line.
currently.
Got it.
sorry about that. I
So
thought
this
there
is
might have
gonna
been
go toward Friends of Fort Halifax, the separate line for the concerts, is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. I don't know if I
No,
can't
you
talk
shouldn't.
or I
No,
can't talk.
you're part of it.
I'm
Probably
really
not.
very
You will need to
conscious
speak.
about, like Mike said, we
Ray.
also last
No,
year. we
it's a
al-
conflict of interest. He needs to speak
Yeah,
on that one
Can you talk
part.
about the bateau too?
Oh. Well, you probably, if you've gone by in the wintertime anyway, you probably noticed there's a large tarp covering something. That's a bateau that the Friends of Fort Halifax and volunteers built, and we actually put it in the river last year, and it floated, much to our surprise. So that's there on display, and when we do Fort Halifax Days, we're considering pulling it down, perhaps putting it in the river as a demonstration. But yeah, the bateau, I think, was a good addition to the Fort Halifax project.
And in French, we say bateau.
Bateau, yeah.
The Fort Halifax Days Fall Festival, that 3,000 that we have on the budget line goes towards just that one celebration?
Yes, to my knowledge, yes.
And then now, we've already talked about that one. Now we're talking about the Friends of Fort Halifax for the concert series. We have
Correct.
to agree on that, and you're asking 2,000 more?
Yes.
Through the chair, what, are these concerts daytime, nighttime, and what would that look like? Does it involve any vendors, or is this family-oriented?
It's family-oriented. It's intended to be free. Families, so children, parents. It's going to start, Ray, 4 o'clock?
These days, he
5.
can't speak on it.
Oh.
These days are Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right, yes.
I'm sorry.
It's going to
Ray.
be for a couple hours.
They're showing Thursdays and one Friday in the past. I'll use Pittsfield as an example. They do concert series on Thursdays. It usually starts around 6 p.m. So people that
6
work,
p.m.
they can bring their families, and it's actually, they get a lot of people that come out.
And this is the first time we're proposing this. We've done this.
Well, we've got a new stage, so we might as well
Use it.
Take
use
advantage
it.
of it.
Yeah, and it's good for the community. I think we
Yep.
all need to start getting back together again and, meeting with our neighbors and talking and visiting and kind of becoming a community again. So
Yep.
I think it's a good idea.
If I may, through the chair,
Yes.
is the proposal of finding the proposal of having the fundraisers and then having the Friends of Fort Halifax pick up the difference. I know, I mean, it's probably not a popular suggestion, but I was thinking maybe for the first year that maybe the town could pick up the difference just for the first year. to help alleviate the burden from the Fort Halifax, Friends of Fort Halifax. I mean, it just seems like we're shuffling funds in and then shuffling them back out, and I just thought maybe it might be a little easier just to try to get this concert series off the ground. And
You already have most of the money raised for that already, right? it
So
says on the back page.
private donation, we haven't been able to confirm that yet, but we feel confident that we're going to get at least 2,000.
Question, are we going to have any vendors in there to be able to offer people drinks or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay, now,
Games,
now.
Through the chair.
I'm sorry, through the chair, as far as the vendors, now, they would have to pay a fee that we could collect and possibly put it back into what, for the concerts, couldn't we?
So in other words, if we did like a food truck
Yeah,
and then had the food vendor pay a fee to be allowed to come in.
Correct.
That's certainly a possibility.
I think that way there, we're going to be generating a service, but not only that, we're going to be generating money, so it wouldn't have to come out of the town and go into the concert, so it wouldn't be taking it out of the people's money.
Well, what you would do, though, is you would do all of what you said. They would keep the money, so they don't need to ask for it next year. That's why you raise the money, so that you have the money for the next year.
That's right, that's correct.
Yep, so they would keep the money they earn
Through the
through
chair.
donations.
Would this involve adding additional patrol or involve Public Works cleaning up any type of trash left behind?
We,
Any of that?
this is a partnership with the town, so Parks and Recreation, so some of the cleanup, for example, emptying the trash and so forth, the town would do,
Which they take care of.
which they do,
already.
yeah, I mean, it's the park, so they're doing that anyway.
I think the concert is a great community
No, this is all
event.
exciting.
And if we can, we've already approved the 3,000, didn't we? Did you want to go line by line, Ray, to approve everything, each line?
Go ahead, Mark.
I don't
Are you,
read. s-
are you talking about the entire budget? What are you referring
No,
to?
he said that he thought that we should vote on everything that we increase or decrease. So we're increasing, this is flat, I guess. Did
Well,
you guys get 3,000
This
last year?
this would be an additional.
Item.
One at
What
a
you
time.
what you're asking for, you guys would have to vote on this because there's
Right.
an additional 2K being
No,
added
I
onto
know
the
that
budget.
part. I'm just, never mind. Let's go right past that. It's something that Ray had mentioned that we needed to do with the budget. You can speak, because we're not talking about Friends
Yeah.
of Fort Halifax.
Well, usually what we do is, sometime we have in the past waited, you see on your sheet, council recommendations. So we'll put a recommendation, we voted on the recommendation to add 2,500. After we get through the whole thing, we'll have a total amount that we have. There's been times when we've said, that's just too much. So we've shifted around some of the money at the end so that we could still maintain our budget. So, we voted on the 2,500, we put it in the council recommendation. At the end, we add up everything, because sometimes things happen, and then we make that decision on the total amount, and we go back and make adjustments within the organizations. But I don't really,
So we're going to vote on anything we change from what's in the flat line that's already there. Any increase or decrease, we'll get a consensus.
Yes.
Put it in the line that you're
Okay,
speaking
that's
about
fine.
and talk about it at.
that's fine.
Okay.
That's
Good.
fine.
So the 3,000's flat, so now we have to get a consensus on whether or not giving an additional 2,000 to the Friends of Fort Halifax for the concert series. I think it's a wonderful idea. All in favor? You get your 2,000.
Oh, thank you, thank you very much, I
Is that
appreciate
going
it.
as a
you
different
for
line
doing
item now?
this.
It is a
Well,
different line
yeah,
item.
different
It was
line item.
added too, so.
Thank you, Mike.
Just making sure.
Sherry, we make sure we have that as a
Yes,
separate
I'm
line
gonna
item. Yep.
create a new line for that, yes.
And then now where were we? Go ahead, Mark.
017. It's Fort Halifax Snow Drifters 2,000. We dropped that down to 1,500. We've received the revenues we've received from the state, so the state kicks back money to us. Literacy volunteers, there was 500 2 years ago, nothing last year. We moved that up to 500. I think there's some validity here with paying people that are assisting those that are do not have the means to be able to actually get some sort of extra help, with, especially on the literacy side of things. Again, there's the contract pages past 50. There's a lot of those sheets that are in the binder that'll cover those kind of services. KV Cap Daycare, that's 0, that's been flat. American Red Cross, that's been flat, so that's 0. Spectrum Generations, 500. The year prior was 1,500. We've moved that up to 1,500. Sherry, was there an updated letter from them
I'm sorry, which one?
for Spectrum Generations?
It's in the back.
That's also another sheet in the back.
Yeah.
I'll get the number.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Why are we giving them $1,500? What are we getting out of that?
Stand by.
I think it's our residents going to Senior Spectrum and
Oh,
getting the program.
okay.
Yeah, they cover an awful lot of services for
Okay.
residents, so
Yep.
it's a very worthy
Okay.
cause.
I
Do you
can
want me to
add,
get into
through the
the?
chair,
Yes.
that's the Muskie Center. That's the
Yeah.
Muskie
Okay,
Center.
that's-
Thank you,
okay.
Ray.
I mean, they do just
They do
unbelievable
everything.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable work. I mean,
Yep. Kennebec Behavioral Health, 500, staying flat at 500.
I do have something on that line, just a question.
Please.
Going over the budget for the school, I noticed that we have a contract with them already that we pay them money for. Why are we giving them more on top of that? We have the school system has a contract with Kennebec Behavioral Health. We pay them. So why are we giving them more money on top of the contract?
If I may, through the chair,
Hmm.
just for adults, so adults that have behavioral issues that go there, it's just for adults.
I still don't understand
That go
what you're
where?
saying. Go where?
Kennebec Behavior, are you talking about Kennebec
Yes.
Behavior?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's an adult program.
that's the adult program, so not, no
It doesn't say
school-age
adult
children.
program, it just says to that whole place.
Yeah, yeah.
And to put it in perspective, in 2025, they assisted 357 Winslow residents. This includes for life-saving mental health and substance use disorder services.
All
as well.
adults?
I'm not sure if it actually specifies that.
That's what I'd like to know, because we do pay them quite a bit for a contract through the school system, so,
Through the chair.
yeah.
So we have a request, right, from them that says $5,000, and I guess my question is, if we keep it at what they're not requesting, are any of our residents going to get turned down for support or services through them?
I mean, it's always
any point in
possible.
time.
It's very possible. That's what's tough
It's a
about
big
these
difference.
asks. It's a huge difference. So when you look at it, I'm gonna go back here. I mean, FY 25, 500, FY 26, 500, so they were pretty flat there, and then it jumped up by thousands, so, you know, for us to go to 500 to 5,000.
Oh, I
is it-
totally agree, I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah, right,
Like,
right,
that's a
right,
big-
right.
Big gap.
It's
right?
a massive jump.
Yeah.
And I understand it's a needed program. My question was honestly, why are we giving them money twice? That's all. That's all. That was my question. You guys are good with it? We can move on from that.
Through the chair, I'd like to add to that. If we're paying Kennebec Behavioral right now for our kids, or if we have a contract with them, with the town, I don't believe that it would be just the kids. In fact, why wouldn't they be taking care of the adults as well, the elderly that have problems or issues? I have a question about that. Sherry, can you elaborate a little bit on
I
that?
believe if there's something going on, a contract with the school, that is directly related to school children that are enrolled in the school. This is separate.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
If I may, through the chair.
Yes.
Just a curiosity, I know in all the years that I've done the budget workshops before, usually on the nights that we have these organizations requesting assistance, usually each individual group usually has a spokesperson
Right.
that can sit, explain and answer questions. Is there a reason why we didn't have a representing person from these organizations?
Well, we did. We just had Mr. Hefner.
Oh, he's talking about.
I'm talking about all these, like,
Right, I know what you're
usually
saying,
someone
Lee.
from every
Yep.
organization.
Yep.
Is there a reason why we didn't extend
Because 2
the?
years ago, you guys asked them to stop coming.
Who did?
The town manager spoke with the counselors and asked if you guys wanted them to all show up, and we were
I was here
advised
2
that-
years ago, and I don't recall ever telling anybody they weren't welcome to come
They
speak.
didn't come last year and the year before. They haven't come for about 2 years now.
I don't
But we
believe.
can definitely ask them to come back. I know that, but that usually lasts a full day. for them.
Right.
That lasts a couple.
Yeah.
Okay, so through the chair, the amount is $500, not 5,000, correct?
Correct. Yeah, for the record, I didn't ask them not to come.
Okay.
I don't recall telling them they couldn't either.
That's right.
Okay, so everybody good with that? Go on, Mark.
Okay, Mid-Maine Homeless Shelter, 500, kept that flat at 500, 3 years in a row. Hospice Volunteers, 500, kept that flat at 500. Family Violence Project, 500, kept it at 500. Woodford's Family Services, 500, dropped that. We opted out of it. Kennebec Mesalonsky Trails, 2,000, we kept it at 2,000. Winslow Community Cupboard, 1,000. We increased that to 1,500. The year prior was also at 1,500. And again, that's something that's it's food scare food
Insecurity.
insecurities here, especially what happened in the fall with loss of benefits. That impacted an awful lot of residents in town. So again, I don't think I have to argue on behalf of that one.
Through the chair, I just want to remind all the residents that Winslow has 2 food pantries, not just one. We have the Winslow Food Cupboard and the St. John's Food Cupboard as well. They've been around for 50 years, so let everyone know that we actually have 2 food cupboards if they're in dire need.
Thanks, Doris. And then Sexual Assault Support Center, 500. We kept it at 500. All in all, aside from any council counters or recommendations, we went up 1,000 from last year.
I have to add one if I could.
Please.
I think somebody from another committee, Corrine Bouchard, is going to speak on that because I'm part of this committee and I'm going to recuse myself.
Same for me.
And Katie as well. We're both on that committee, so we're both going to stay right out of the conversation.
Hello. I'm Corrine Bushy, and I am the chairman for the Winslow Events Committee. I just started shaking. So I am here, we have a lot of things going right now, a lot of wheels turning as far as events. We have an event coming up on April 4th, which is going to be at the town office, and it is a picture day with the Easter Bunny. And some other events. We have cupcakes, we have some games, we have some coloring, very much to get the community involved with their children and give them something to just be excited about. I am here today to ask if we could have a donation of $2,000 towards the committee.
So everything will be free for the children, correct?
Yeah, there's no cost.
So that'll cover the cost of the photos, the Easter Bunny costume, or?
We have the Easter Bunny
food?
costume already. It was bought by one of the members. And the cupcakes are being donated by another member who actually did it herself.
Nice.
Decorations are all purchased and ordered, and they're going to be here tomorrow. There is no cost. We do have a fundraiser that will be going. We didn't want to put a lot out there, but we did. We're doing a huge Easter basket, and I'm going to go around and get gift certificates. Either purchase them myself or through the committee funds that we have, and they're going to be for local businesses. So it's
That's
really a matter
exciting.
to bring it home and keep it here in Winslow. We're also going to have Easter baskets for the children, like with some little games so they can win a prize. We have a big Easter egg thing that there's going to be a little paper in there and it's going to be like 120 Easter eggs, and they get to pick one as they come in, and they have the chance to win a big Easter basket, which I'm having fun picking out.
What day does that fall on?
It's a Saturday.
Saturday.
So
So.
from
we'll
1
be
to
at the-
3.
1 to 3?
Yep. We
Will you
also,
be there? I'm just curious.
Through the chair. Now, we've never had anything like this before in Winslow, have we? Now, does Waterville do it?
Waterville doesn't do anything with, like, for Easter. There's nothing going on. There are a couple little things here and there for Easter egg hunts, but nothing specific that the town of Waterville is doing.
What do you
City of Waterville.
anticipate as far as people coming in? If you were
Well,
to
we
guess?
kind of put our mind at like about 120 children, which is a good amount of children. We figure they will be little to big. The pictures, she mentioned something about the photos. They're actually going to be take your own photo. So we bought I ordered photo booth kind of things. So they have all kinds of things that they can go stand, little people, little Easter eggs and Easter bunnies that they can put their face through and take pictures. So there's a lot of little things that they can actually do. So we're hoping, you know, on the plus side of having all of those kids come.
Will it be inside the building or outside in the
Both.
gazebo? Oh,
Gazebo's going to be decorated, and that's where the bunny will be.
okay.
And we will be having everything else inside. So we'll get that all set up. We have the room, the center, rec center, is that what is that?
Oh, okay, I see what
Yeah,
you're
we
saying.
have it all
Okay,
set up.
it'll be downstairs
Yeah, it'll be
then. Okay,
downstairs. We'll be
perfect.
setting up
I
at
was
9
wondering
o'clock.
about the upstairs.
Yep, no, it'll be downstairs,
Okay,
so.
perfect.
Yep,
So through the chair, how about if it rains? Have a
can
plan?
move it all inside.
Oh, you're going to move everything
We can
inside?
move everything
Oh,
inside, so,
okay.
yeah, we kind of thought about that. We're just gonna, really, the bunny's gonna be the main thing outside with the little setups, but those are easy, they're small.
Yeah.
They're easy to move inside, and we'll kind of have an idea, because we're getting the room at 9, so we'll be able to kind of figure the weather from there.
About how long is that going to last?
1 to 3,
1 to 3?
You said
Okay.
April what? For?
4th. We have flyers going out. It has been put on social media. We started it a couple, last month or the month before, we put one out there. We also have a bottle drive going at Raider Redemption to start to earn some more funds for our committee as well, because we have some things coming in the summer too that we'd like to be.
I'm not on social media. Will the town be putting this on their website? The
Yes.
town website? Perfect.
If I may, through the chair, could I find out what the name of the organization is again?
The Winslow Events Committee.
Oh, that's part of the events committee?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's our first event,
Okay.
so I'm excited
I
about
missed
it.
that at the beginning, I
Sorry,
apologize.
I probably was
And-
nervous and mumbled.
And this is for all surrounding communities to attend?
Surrounding communities like Vassalboro, anybody, it's out there. We didn't put it out towards Waterville because I'm keeping it Winslow centered, but I can't say that people that are just down the road in, on Benton Avenue or
Right.
in Benton can't come and that sort of
But
thing.
you're not gonna turn anybody away, right?
No,
Okay, so through the chair, if we were to approve the $2,000 and there were leftover funds, you would save that for the next event, correct?
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Through
because
the
we ha-
chair, can I just speak real quick on that? So the funds that you're approving tonight will begin July 1.
Okay.
This is
April,
for
May.
the,
So you
for
you won't have any money
FY27
till
budget.
July for us.
We're working it.
Okay.
We're figuring it all out, so.
Okay,
We're
awesome.
more than happy to donate if we can and that sort of thing.
Sure,
and
so
get what
you
we need
could
to.
probably use that to, if we did approve it, you could use it to reimburse someone if they needed it.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
take care of that. We're gonna, we don't have anything set for the winter time at this point, but I mean, the funding from that will give us our plan, because we have to start ahead early
Sure.
to get it
And
done, so.
One other question, do you have, what other events do you have planned? I'm just curious.
Oh, they're secret.
Oh, okay, that's a surprise.
We are coming up, we have been working on something for the 4th of July.
Exciting.
Where it's not going to be as big as it used to be. But we have some things together involving the park. Still working out some details with that.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we'd like to do, one of the ideas was a picnic in the park to bring families together. That's the biggest thing, is just get the families back involved and together and out of their houses
Nice.
after this winter.
Okay, so through the chair, are we ready to take a vote? Show of hands?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good,
Thank you for all your time and
Oh,
your
yeah,
effort.
of course, no problem.
That concludes that page. '28 utilities. And if we need Paul, he's right there. But it starts with traffic lights, up to 10,000. It was at 6,500. hydrants, 216,000, drop that down to 210,000. In streetlights, 10,000, bump that up to 15K.
What is this, for maintaining fire hydrants and stuff? Is that what that is?
Paul?
That is hydrant rental to have them available for the fire department. And Kennebec Water is allowed to charge us a set percentage of their operating budget on an annual basis. So that's what it costs us to have fire hydrants in Winslow available for fire protection.
I don't understand what that means. Don't we already have fire hydrants? I don't get it.
It's how it's listed. It's like that every community in the state.
So we are
They-
paying for the hydrants we already have, is that what you're saying?
Correct, because we don't
Oh,
have
okay.
them. They belong to Kennebec
All
Water.
right, I thought they were bringing hydrants over.
So it's like a rental?
It's kind of a rental, and we can't buy them because that's been asked before, but we can't buy them. It's just part of their operating budget that they charge us a set percentage. I don't know what the percentage is. I have to
So they
find
give
out.
us the hydrants and our public works maintains them?
We don't maintain
The
them.
fire
They-
department?
They maintain them. Fire
they do?
department will usually maintain the snow removal, but
Okay,
Kennebec Water maintains them. They flush them. They
Good
do
to know.
everything they have to do, but
I did not know that, thank you.
it's an operating cost.
If I may, through the chair.
Yes.
Paul, do you know offhand, say, any particular hydrant that you'd see going down the road? Is there some sort of shelf life, or not shelf life, but a usage? Do they have to be refurbished or replaced
I mean, other
after
than
so
painting
many
them,
years?
I mean, they go about in the fall. Usually they'll drain them out. They drain the water in them so they don't freeze. And I don't know here, I know up north we used to put some antifreeze in them, but but they operate them, they flush them every year, so if there's a problem, if they don't open or close well, then yes, they'll do maintenance to them.
But typically speaking, if we were to go through and purchase these hydrants ourselves,
You can't,
you can't,
you can't.
not even an option.
It's not an option.
I wonder why.
Because we
be
don't
what
own
they
the,
charge,
because we
is what
don't
they
own the water,
charge.
we don't own the water system either. We don't own the
Right.
pipes. They
Yeah.
all belong to the water
Yeah.
district.
And that would be a lot of maintenance to have the town take over a whole
Right.
water system like that.
Correct. Good?
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
I know. We're all set on utilities. We can move forward to page 30, debt services.
Oh my God, it's so small.
So a couple things to note on this. Sunset Heights isn't going to start until 2027, 2028. Chaffee Brook begins this fiscal year, 26, 27. And there's a 2017 bond that is actually ending in, let me see here, 27, 28. There's also the $6 million high school bond, which also will end this year. So there's a few coming off of the books. There's a few being added because of the projects that we have. We're looking at an increase of 416,000. Sherry, was there a point about that increase that you've noted before? Or is that just tying it in with the,
The overall increase for debt service?
yes,
So the Chaffee Brook, we moved to the sewer operating budget.
thank you.
Yeah. So there's only the two on the debt service for the coming year. The latter and the 2017 bond.
Thank you.
Through the chair, on Sunset Heights, you said we're not starting that till 2027?
The work starting.
Oh, the work's already started, okay. So what, okay, I guess I'm confused.
It's the bond.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
all right,
We don't start paying the bond until the project is done.
right, okay. And the amount for that bond was how much?
Which one?
There's a couple of them.
We'll have two bonds, one for 4 million, one for 2.5.
Okay, and that's gonna be paid by, when it's done?
Correct.
I think we've already budgeted for that anyways, right?
We have.
Okay.
Are we good?
Yeah, how are we feeling? Good? All right, moving onwards. we are now to revenues, and that's going to be on page 32, 33, and 34. Just a reminder on the revenue side of things, Sherry and I, we met a lot over this and agreed to make sure that we kept our numbers conservative. For instance, you'll see for the state revenue sharing, we put in initially at 2 million. We've actually increased ours to 2.2. The state figure came out with 2.3 and change, but we still feel like staying under that 2.3 makes sense. There will be another adjustment. Last year, that adjustment was approximately 10K. But still, we're giving ourselves a little bit of breathing space there. All right, so with the revenues, do you want me to go down lines?
Yes, please.
Okay. Starting with Secretary of State, FY26, 35K, moved it up to 38,000. Vitals, 6,500, staying flat at 6,500. Boat excise taxes, proposed 8,000, stayed flat. Town clerk's fees, 8,000, stayed flat. Nope, I apologize. Sorry, I skipped a line. So the boat excise taxes was actually 8K, stayed flat, and then the town clerk's fees was 13K. We dropped down to 5K. The lien costs and fees, 3,000, dropped down to 1,000. Miscellaneous receipts, 2,000, kept it at 2,000. Permits, 62,000, dropped it down to 55,000. Property tax commitment, 16.325 million. Kept it right around there, 16.356. So that's FY26 tax commitment, homestead, and Betty. Budgeted use of surplus, 955,000, dropped down to 500,000. General fund. Sale of town property, flat, 0. Ordinance fines, flat, 0. State revenue sharing, as I've covered right now, estimated 2.3. We're keeping it at 2.2 million. And I think we're hoping April.
For the second projection?
Yeah, for the second
It
projection.
could be as late as May. I've seen them as late as July before.
July.
For second projection.
But the expectation is not going to change very far from the 2.3 projected.
Through the chair, on that state revenue sharing, FY26 budget was 2,380,291. We've already used 52%, is that correct?
We've already received 52%.
We already received 52%.
Yeah, they
Yes.
usually come in a couple different
Okay.
number of payments throughout the
So
year.
we're expecting right now it's going to be $2 million instead?
That was our proposed. So a lot of things happened this last year, and that included a lack of travel from our neighbors to the north in Canada. So that obviously impacted revenues for the state as a whole. So our conservative estimate for what our revenue sharing was going to be from the state was going to be a little lower than what it was last year. Right now, they're looking like it's going to be almost the same.
Okay.
So to put that into perspective, the year prior, it jumped almost 300,000. So it's not jumping 300,000 this year. So it's staying probably flat, give or take a little bit.
It's actually about $380,000 less. Okay.
Right. All set on that one?
Yep.
Snowmobilers, 2,000, kept that at 2,000. No, I apologize. That's at 1,500 for us. I dropped that. Interest, taxes, 15K, kept it flat at 15. Interest investments, 85,000, kept that at 85. Interest sewage, 5,000, kept it at 5K. State cable franchise fees, 78,000, dropped that down to 60K. Plumbing, septic local portion, 8,000, dropped that down to 5,000. First park revenue, that comes, it was projected 45,000, dropped it down to 40,000. Abandoned building fees, 1,500, we dropped it down to 1,000. And main crisp revenue, 12,080, and we kept it at 12,080.
Could you explain what that is?
I believe that's a grant revenue agreement that the town had with Maine Crisp.
Oh, it's a grant?
Yes, so that's just a set amount every year.
Yeah, if I may, if I remember, I don't know if Ray can fill it, but also I remember that the Maine Crisp wanted to get a loan, but the town had to do it for them, and then, so they can invest in their equipment. And then in return, Maine Crisp was paying us back for that equipment, and it was over so many years. And that's the revenue that I believe we were getting for the equipment that they had. It was kind of they couldn't get the loan on their own. The town had to apply for them, and then in return, they're paying us back for the equipment that they were able to get.
I thought it was a TIF. I thought Maine Crisp, they were gonna increase jobs and, but I don't remember.
I don't believe Maine Crisp was ever set up in a TIF.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay, I can't, I remember basically we did something with Maine Crisp, but I guess I don't know what. Not sure what.
If I may, I believe that was an EDA grant that had to go through the town. They could not apply for it on their own, so it had to go through the town, and now they're paying it back.
So, okay, so the town applied for that grant, okay.
Thanks, Paul.
The first park revenue line, explain that. Is that what you're projecting we're paying?
That's what we're getting back.
That's what we get back.
That's where we show what we get back from
Yeah,
them
these are
is in this
revenues.
Okay.
This is what we're getting from everyone.
So we're losing quite a bit of revenue by the looks of it,
Again, conservative, but yeah, it's dropped.
which is the opposite way.
What I'm not going to do is inflate numbers and pretend that we're going to make a lot of money and then course correct in months from now. So we came in conservative with these figures.
Yeah.
Through the chair. When we talked earlier, we said we were getting 6,000 on First Park. So do we not know?
So
For sure.
we pay them 36,000 and we'll get 42 back. So
Okay.
there's a net there, but we have to show it in full amounts because you get 40,000 revenue, but we're paying 36. So that has to go on the expense side.
We're getting 40 or 42?
Well,
We still haven't gotten that
we haven't
figure
got a
yet.
final figure. We're
Okay,
estimating.
so we don't
40.
know. We don't know for sure.
Right.
Okay.
And finally, at the bottom, library fees. 2,000, kept it flat at 2,000. All set? Mm-hmm. Moving on to page 33. Assessing. So starting with the first line, tree growth reimbursement, that's 50,000 from last year. We dropped that down to 45. The veterans exemption, 9,000, dropped that down to 7,340. Veterans organization, 9,000, dropped that down to 7,231. Renewable energy reimbursement, 4,000, dropped down, or actually, sorry, that stayed the flat at 4,000. Animal waste, 0. Betty, 0. Any questions on the assessing while Vanessa's here?
So what was projected in FY '26 was 72,000, and now we're down to $63,571.
Yeah, I don't think they ever really involved Judy or I in coming up with those numbers. It's hard to kind of estimate what you're going to get for homesteads without knowing who's coming, who's going, whether they're going to qualify. Same for veterans. So it seems like there was just kind of an overall estimate increase every year and never kind of a decrease. I can always give my most accurate numbers, but like I'm just about to start processing all the homesteads and the veterans that I've received so far because the deadline's April 1st. Special reminder for everybody to get me those exemptions. But that's not really a line that you can estimate and just increase every year because that's not a definitive.
Does it change every single year?
Yes.
It does.
Yeah, 1,000%. It changes every year. Generally, there's a little bit of an increase, but I wouldn't bet on it every year, and I would never bet that it's something super big. You might have a change of like 15 increase for homestead, maybe you get 16 more for veterans, things like that, but there's just no way to estimate it because you just don't know how many people are going to be coming into town or not.
Okay, thank you.
Through the chair, where is the renewable energy coming from?
Solar. So we have solar exemptions. We get reimbursed on those.
Okay,
So
perfect.
when people apply for those, so same timeline. April 1st, get me your solar exemptions.
Through the chair, if I might, this might not be the place to ask this question, but I believe I heard that you were doing a statistical reevaluation within the town of Winslow.
Yes.
Do you feel at this point in time that we're at a pretty good balance between commercial versus residential? And what do you foresee the ramifications on income or taxes
Yeah.
because of that?
So the state actually just got me back their number for what they think our certified ratio will be. And the certified ratio is what we are in comparison to market value. So you'd really think with us just doing a whole town revaluation that we would be at 100%, but we're actually at 88. And when you get down to those numbers, you don't get the full reimbursements that you were anticipating. So when you start going into, your Betty reimbursements, homestead reimbursements, you don't get the full reimbursements on those. So the town ends up paying more. What I'm kind of seeing for numbers, I'm preliminarily can't finalize that until April 1st. I'm seeing a lot of apartment buildings. Those are kind of what's throwing us out of whack. Those are at like 60% of market value. So that's really what's bringing us really low on that 88%. Commercial buildings are still really close to that 100%. Without having my booklet, I want to say it's around like 95-ish.
Right.
Homes are still okay. They're not as bad as the apartment units, and that's anything from a 2-unit above. That's what's really dragging us down, I think, because as soon as I kind of fix it in my system, we jump right back up to being close to that 100%. So I don't think properties are going to see a crazy difference. Apartment buildings will, because I have apartment buildings assessed at like 130,000 and they're selling for 350, which are not fun numbers to get in when I'm doing sales. So houses definitely, I'm still getting slight increases, but they're matched with houses that are coming in under assessment value. So it's kind of evening out, just not quite exactly.
In the end, what happens, at least I believe happens, is that if your apartment houses are at 60%, eventually you're going to reevaluate statistically,
Yes.
bring them up.
Yep.
So the tax burden will go more toward the apartment buildings and less to residential and commercial. So I just, for a pre-warning for landlords that they might be seeing for apartment buildings, a increase in their taxes more so than residential or commercial.
And depending too where the budget falls, I know that hearing revaluation is terrifying to everybody. It's not my favorite word either. But depending on where the budget falls, you may not necessarily see a very big increase in your taxes. If it stays flat, you may see a drop in the mill rate. So that's something too to kind of consider with people. And I'm going to send letters out to everybody when I do a change in assessment. You're going to get a letter before I go to commitment. You can make an appointment with me to talk about your assessment if you feel like it's really out of whack or I've missed something. The thing about doing it now is that with the most recent whole town revaluation is I have a great base to go off of. So I kind of know what you have, what you don't have. I'm still going through the building permit. So it's a great time to come and discuss with me at any point. Like I'm available Monday through Thursday, 8 to 6. So you'll get a letter from me. You can call the office, make an appointment, and we'll talk before I go to commitment so that I can also save on doing abatements is kind of why we do that too. So keep that in mind.
Well, I just, when I heard you were doing a statistical reevaluation, I was not thrilled because you don't get thrilled about assessing too often.
Yeah.
But I was happy because we got into a little bit of a problem when we didn't do statistical evaluations. And then when we finally did a actual door-to-door evaluation, it was not pretty. And so statistical evaluation, when we have to go back and do door-to-door in 8 years maybe, then at least we'll be closer than what we were.
Yeah, that is my goal.
Okay, through the chair. So you said the valuation of apartments are going to go up. Okay, so in other words, right now apartments are what, $1,200, $1,600 a month people are renting it? So what's that gonna do? Is that gonna bring their payments or rentals for $1,800 to $2,000?
There's the potential. I mean, I don't get to talk to a lot of the landlords, so that's definitely going to be on them and something to consider with rent increases. I know I currently rent, so there's only a certain percentage that your landlord can increase it year by year, and they have to give you so many days, so like 30 days notice, depending on what the increase is.
Is that through the state? They cap landlords at that? Because I thought they could charge
believe
whatever they
so.
wanted.
No, that,
I was gonna-
I'm sorry, by law, they can
Yeah.
only go up a certain percentage.
Yes. I was gonna say, because my landlord just did it. So I know that like me and my husband got a letter and it was like, your rent is going to increase by X amount. We're giving you the X amount of days that we have to give you because it's by this certain percentage. So I don't know what the cap percentage is, but if it had gone up more than what they were saying, it was gonna be like a 90-day notice versus a 30-day notice.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Anyone else?
Thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you.
All right, same page, on to ambulance fees. Last year was projected at 500,000. Sherry and I felt like that was a little too high, so we dropped that down to 400,000. But of course, with the potential increase in revenue due to the extra personnel that's been approved for this fiscal year, we would expect that, you know, some money's going to be coming back into the town's pocket. So that's a good thing. Fire department revenue, the miscellaneous. Again, that was a weird line. We had 0 for FY26. The year prior, 3750. Sherry, what did you end up having on that?
For this year,
Yeah.
200.
Where's Mike? Hey, Chief, you proposed 200.
200.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because the truck will be, are you talking about, we're discussing the new truck, correct? Or just?
No. This is miscellaneous revenue from you guys.
Page 33.
41445.
33, Mike.
So that's revenues that the fire department does charge other towns when like you're.
Yeah, but where-
When you guys hold your academy.
Right.
And charge the other towns.
Right, and
for
that
you
was
guys to
what
host
I'm,
it.
Okay.
I don't think you have your revenue page. I think that's the capital page.
Sherry also assists with the admin stuff over at FD. That's why she
So
has a
this
little
is-
more knowledge.
I'm not gonna lie, this is the first year of me doing this, because I wasn't allowed the other 2 prior years. So, there's, and again,
What's fire department miscellaneous revenue? What is that?
so that can be anything from when we hold our training academies. Other revenue would be like if we provide a paramedic to another town.
Or teaching CPR course and charging or something?
Correct, we do not teach CPR in town, so.
So the whole point in FY25, there was 3,750. For FY26, there was 0 put in for it, yet we came out with 175. So
Right.
we increased it to 200 just because we got something back last year, and that was 175. Does that help?
Yep.
Kind of, sort of.
Thanks, Chief.
I might as well sit, because the rest of the stuff's coming up, correct?
Yes.
And then there's the general assistance revenue, 10,500 for FY26. We dropped that down to 7,800. Also, 70% is reimbursement from state. All right, moving on. Page 34. Chief, we're actually gonna.
Yep, that's fine. Got you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
We'll start with Parks and Rec revenue. Start with recreation rentals. Last year, 1,500. This year, proposed 1,000.
This is.
Why, are we renting less?
Talking about this, it's nothing.
Amanda.
I didn't worry about it.
We had a drop a lot because we rented the fort a lot less because we had all the construction down at the park. So I didn't rent it at all last summer. A lot of times we have weddings and funerals and different things down there. And the rec center is just as busy as it always has, but it's $30 to rent, so it doesn't really add up to a lot.
Right.
So that's pretty much it. We didn't rent for Halifax last year. And this year we have a lot of great events going on, so hopefully, it's actually pretty booked, so.
Good.
Thank you. There's nothing else on the Parks and Rec side. Drop down to police, estimated 2,000. We kept it at 2,000 from last year. Go down to Public Works, miscellaneous receipts. Last year, 10,000. We dropped that down to 5,000. Highway block grant, 140,000. That increased up to 170,000. Contractual services, MDOT, 25,500. That went up 25,000. I'm sorry, dropped by actually about $34. 25,466. And then street entrance permit, 1,000. That dropped down to 500.
Through the chair, on the highway block grant, why is there a difference of $30,000?
They've already gone over what they've had. They've already gone over
So
what they had.
this year to date, we're at 170,000. So we're already 121% over.
Revenues.
Revenue, income.
Correct.
That's an income.
So
This is
money.
increase.
Right, it's
Yep.
increase. Are you thinking it might even go beyond that?
Again, conservative. So
Okay.
I'm hoping for the same of where we're at right now. There's still a few months left, but again, I didn't want to overshoot.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome. On to sewer estimated revenue. Lien costs for the sewerage, 30,618 last year. Kept it down that 30,000, so just dropped it by 600. Budgeted use of surplus, that's 0. That stays the same. That hasn't changed. User fee receivables, 953,000. Budgeted up to 1,216,000. We're currently at 813,000.
We're at 1.6, right? Is that what you recommended?
That's the adjusted one, because that line has to cover the sewer operating budget, and when I had to take the Chaffee Brook bond payment, include it in the sewer operating, that automatically changes what we need to receive back from sewer billing.
Through the chair, on the sewerage, how much did that go up this year?
10%.
10% of what they were paying before? And what's the average for people paying as far as their sewerage per month?
Don't hold me to it, but probably $450 a year.
$450 a year? A lot less than what Bassenborough.
Yeah.
It's less, but it's still expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunately, Winslow is still paying. We're still paying,
And we're still going up.
and we're still going up.
Basboro.
When is it expected to go up again?
July 1st.
How much? Another 10%?
That's what the council decided back in 2023.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, that's up to you guys, but we'll make a presentation probably in April for the increase in July.
And the intent was to stop that increase by 2027, 2028?
Something like that, yeah. But it's to keep up, obviously, with the debt service that we're incurring with all these projects, that we have to have the revenue to pay for those bonds.
Now, I know we did well with the Sunset Height bond, correct? We did really well on that. Can that, some of that, I know we probably have that money going towards the paving or
Thanks, Paul.
Someone forgot their binder.
That was Mike. What was your question?
Okay, I know we saved money on one of the bonds. We were able to keep, I think, was it $1 million on one of the
Yes,
bonds?
the second bond that Mark is working on has $1 million forgiveness.
So where are we putting that?
Well, right now we have about $9.5 million for Sunset Heights.
Mm-hmm.
Our contract was $7 million. We have about $500,000 for inspection services. So I'm hoping that come next spring, when we see where we're landing, that we can add work to the contract and get more streets done for the same amount of money we had.
Now, we also had a grant, correct?
Yes,
And
we have
that-
a $2 million grant.
Okay.
And I'm presently trying to fill out another one for phase 2, which is due the end of this week for another 3 million.
So out of that grant, we have $1 million from that grant as well, don't we? Left over?
We have a $3 million grant
Mhm.
and $1 million forgiveness on the bond. So
Okay.
we have $4 million of, I hate to say free money, because it's coming from your
Money that we
pockets.
can put in
Coming
somewhere
from another
else.
pocket that you have. but-
Right, okay. All right, Paul, thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Through the chair, if I may, if you look at the sewer increases over the last 6 years versus tax increases over the same period of time, municipal tax increases, if you live in town and you hook up to the sewer system, you've paid more in increase in sewer taxes than you did in municipal taxes over that same period. So it just keeps on going up and up and up.
Last one is sewer connection fees. We dropped that down from 600 to 500. Now, unless you have any questions, that ends the.
I do have
Please,
a
Mike.
question on this sewer connections, and that might bring Paul into it. Now, are we gonna have enough? Now, if people that we're replacing those pipes, those red clay pipes throughout Sunset Heights. Now, the connection from the road to the house, that's the people's responsibility, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, is that some of that money that we may have to pay to do the connection? I know they're gonna be responsible for it, but is that gonna be a liability that we may have to have
No,
some of that?
Our project is replacing the pipes from the main line to the property line.
Okay. So from there on, we will have no connection whatsoever, no
Correct.
responsibility?
No.
Okay. That's all I needed to know, Paul.
Come-
Thank you.
Chair, Are you stubbing out to each house?
We are.
When you go by, so they'll
We are.
have the opportunity if they
Right.
want to replace
So
theirs
they
at
are
the
getting
time.
some free services, because we're replacing a section of pipe that actually is their responsibility.
Right.
But I just don't want them digging across the street after we pave it,
I don't blame you.
so.
Thank you, Paul.
And
Thanks,
some
Paul.
people, it's a big benefit, some people not so much, depending where the main line is and where their house is. If they're on the other side of the street, then they're saving quite a bit of money. If it's close to their side, well, not so much, but we're
Any
still,
helps,
we're
any-
still stubbing it out to the property lines.
That's a help, thank you.
Probably. Almost close.
Through the chair, if I may, are we putting those sewer lines in this year, a portion of them, right? So somehow we should notify perhaps the homeowners that, as soon as we can, that that's a possibility. Because I know in my father-in-law's neighborhood right now, the clay pipe, the roots, a lot of residents have issues with having to rotor-root their sewage lines. Is there any way we can get the word out that we're gonna change the pipe? Obviously, they're gonna know, but ahead of time for
I was
budgeting.
actually speaking with Mark, I was trying to get together some type of press release, maybe to identify all the projects that we're doing in town and what's coming. I mean, we can send letters out, we'd have to look at which streets are in this contract, not all of them are, so.
Right, just to let them know so they have the opportunity to get a contractor in there.
Right,
Right.
yeah, our,
Time is time.
our plan is to identify all the projects that are going on this year, locations, how long they're expected to take, and give all the details so everybody in town understands what's going on.
Okay.
Through the chair. Paul, I'm sorry, get you to answer that question again. With these, let's say we're going down to Sunset Heights, we have 30 houses on that street, and all of a sudden, 10 of them say, okay, we want to connect right off. Now, the people, they have to get their own contractor to dig those pipes. Is that going to cause any delays with Sunset Heights?
No, because ideally they won't be doing that until our contractor has gone by.
Okay.
And yes, there might be a little bit of coordination required, but.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
All set? Mm-hmm. All right. On to Capitol.
Could we take just 2 minutes and just stretch our legs a little bit through the chair?
Yes, we
Again,
can.
I'm old
Yes, we
and I
can.
need to move just a little bit. Oh.
improvements. Last year is budgeted 1,817,000. This year I budgeted 1,582,000. A little difference, you're gonna see the year to date, obviously for 2026 is higher. That's with gen fund application as well. So that's why there's a little bit of a discrepancy between what was budgeted last year and where we're actually at. Going down to the first group, industrial building, 0. Street lights, 0. Municipal building, kept it at 10,000 flat. Vital records, 10,000, kept it flat. And trail and bridge lighting, 5,000, kept it flat. Go down to old junior high, and that whole group, well, the junior high school is gone. So flat, 0. Down to assessing, consultant, 25K was put aside, 25. That's set aside for the reval, and 5,000 for aerial photos every 5 years. Down to election equipment, last year was 0, this year 10,000. We need new machines. Audra's still trying to find out from the companies how much this is going to cost us. We believe 10K is going to cover the machines that we need. For the library equipment, 6,500 last year. We bumped that up to 10,000. That includes computers and equipment. Again, annual set aside. And 15K stayed flat for the building for mold remediation. Computer equipment, before we had 2 years ago, 33,000 set aside. Last year, nothing. This year, I proposed nothing. For PD, police radios, 5,000 last year, kept it flat at 5,000. For the facility, 3,000, kept it flat at 3,000. Computer equipment, 6,000, again, kept it flat. And then nothing else was added for vehicles or the accreditation. We can move on to the fire now. We're gonna need Chief Murphy on this because he has a little more information on the truck and the equipment that comes with it.
So with the fire truck should be ready by fall, late fall. And we owe left, what was it, Sherry, we said today, 501 left.
Yeah, 501,000.
Yeah, and we'll own it ourselves.
And when's that payment due? That 500?
Final delivery. So in other words, I have to accept it.
Okay.
Correct. Like it has to pass its pump test, its third party pump test and inspection. And then once we say yes, then it's due.
So how much money have we already paid them, Sherry?
250.
250, okay.
And that was to get it off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the equipment part of it is the fire department equipment. That is for SCBA's. We set aside for hose replacement and safety harnesses for the turnout gear.
The replacement on the hoses, do you have to do that every several years?
So it gets hose tested every year. We have to, by BLS standards, that it needs to be flow tested every year. We have a third-party company that comes in, handles everything for us, but occasionally hose does blow. So it's roughly just a little under $1,000 for a 100-foot roll of 4-inch hose. So it gets expensive real quick if, for whatever reason,
Especially if you blow a hose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick note for the fire department facility under the equipment line. I
Yes.
initially had 10K. Do they have the updated sheets?
So they should have 10, we took it out. Murphy had 10K proposed and you took it out, but
So
I
back in,
proposed.
because of the back deck and the stairs need to be replaced.
So we need to
Correct.
add that back in because the
Correct.
money we decided to use to purchase the generator that
Correct.
it's being split up, we need to put that 10
Yes.
back in.
Through the chair, if I might, just going back a few places up, restoration of vital records, 10,000. Can you explain to me,
So Audra actually brought some books in as well. Chief, any chance Audra could have the table?
She can have the table, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Very welcome.
I brought show and tell stuff tonight. So in the past, we've never had money to restore books. This is one of our books. This is probably the nicer book than what I've just sent to the restoration people. We have 10 or 15 of these that need to be replaced. And this is what it looks like when it's done. It's all pretty. And everything has been archived so it doesn't get more destroyed. This is all. These books also are digital, so they've been put on our website. And all of our vital records should be in a fireproof filing cabinet or container, safe. And right now, currently, there's quite a few that are not. So this year, a few months ago, we purchased fireproof filing cabinets so we can put some of our newer records in. And then I've already sent 2 vital records books off to be restored like this, and that's going to cost us about $4,000 to do.
What's it cost for just one of those books?
I don't remember what one of these cost, but the books that, one book, it's birth records from 1892 to 1925. It's roughly 192 pages. It's going to be $1,600. The other book that I've sent off is death records from 1892 to 1934. It's roughly 194 pages. It's $1,600. And then both of those books will be put on a hard drive and will be PDF images of
That's
that.
all included in that? In that
That's going to
price?
be $400. So it's a total of $3,600 to have just those 2 books
How old
restored.
is that book that you have there?
This one?
No, the other one.
Old.
This is second book of birth records that begin in February of 1800. There we go.
Wow.
So,
yeah, just, you know, when I spent a lot of time down into the archive room down there. So some of the records go back to the late 1700s, some of the books.
and yeah, this
So,
one.
and if you look at them, it's amazing to go through some of the books and the letters and the past.
It's a lot of Winslow history.
It is like when you do a restoration, are they digitized too, or is just, so
Yep.
then, see, that's important.
So this is 1892 to 1933 marriages, and these are all currently on our website.
Yeah.
So you
Okay.
can review them. And this is a birth book from 1934 to 1943. So that's a kind of a newer one, but these will all be bound nicely, so we can open this book. If someone needs a record, we can make a copy of these. In these books, we really can't. So
The filing cabinets that are fireproof for that, how far, I mean, what's the rating on that for a fire as far as being protected?
I'm not sure the rating, but there was one filing cabinet, and that was about all that we could get. So these are in a safe that gets shut up every night. There is no lock to that safe. It's not lockable. So
Be nice to have
this
a room
is-
that have a safe, wouldn't it?
this is all things that we're working on, making sure that these records are safe and secure.
Through the chair.
And then we have backup because we do have them digitally.
Yeah, through the chair, you know, we have a grant writer now. There are, and I looked into grants for restoration of vital records.
Mhm.
So they're out there. So
Sure.
I would if you could, you know, I don't know how busy Steve is already.
Busy, part-time hours.
Part-time hours, so, you know what I mean, there might be something in the future that as long as, you know, I think 10,000 after we go through the whole budget here and see what the total budget is, and then, you know, that's an area that's dear to my heart, is vital records and restoration and looking up those things. You can go back and take a look at that,
Yeah,
maybe.
as long as I can get a little bit done every year, eventually we will get caught up and
Yeah.
be in a much better place, but because we've gone years with not doing anything, that it's,
So, some of the records, like in the early 1800s, there's 20 books, that are just brittle.
So
that need to be
$1,600
done.
per book, is that what we're saying?
I just-
18 if
18, I
digital.
mean,
1,800 with the digital.
16, yeah.
Wow.
And some books are in better quality than other books. The ones that we were supposed to do this before he came to pick them up, and I would have those exact books, but the pages are falling out of them. So,
Can I just add, there are certain time periods too where the paper is more acidic. Like, for example, the Second World War, a lot of things that were produced during the Second World War, so they degrade quicker.
And the more they handle,
Yeah.
the worse it gets.
and they're, cleaning those up and making sure that now the paper's behind archival sleeves, so we're not touching them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Audra.
Yep.
And if anyone wants to look at the books, just come to the front office, we can pull them out for you.
Through the chair. Just a foolish question. How big of a room that we, just like some people that have automatic weapons, they have to have a room, it's all concrete in itself. How big of a room would we have all these records put in?
I don't know, we have some records downstairs, I know, there's records here at the library, so.
Just a curiosity.
Half of this size?
Half of this size?
Yeah, because you also want to allow for space for people to come in and access the records. Because you don't usually allow those kind of records to leave the building.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So part of it is people space, but part of it is also the specialized kind of storage that you need, and then a number of other things.
So almost like a bank storage.
Almost like it.
The room down there right now is about 3/4 of the size of this room, at least, so.
Of this room,
This room, this whole, just this
3/4?
section right here.
And we're gonna be adding to those records continuously for, I'm assuming, unless we're going strictly digital,
All the vital records now are digital.
that helps.
Where we would grow the collection is mostly through donations, things that are rare and that people will donate on a regular basis, and then to preserve the history of the town.
Thank you.
Somebody just, I don't want to get into this, but somebody just gave me, out in your area, somebody gave me a autograph book. Back in the 1700s, early, they had autograph books. So I went through I was just, said, take this, I haven't been able to bring it back down to the stairs yet. Ezekiel Patty's, signature, all the Howards that were here before, the Lithgows, all these people that have autographed this book for this birthday of this, one of the Garlands back then. So it's amazing, some of the stuff that people have that are,
Yeah, and it should be preserved.
Okay.
All right, back on the fire. Actually, I think we're done on the fire.
Yeah.
Right, Chief?
I do
How do you
have
feel about that?
Through the chair. Mark, I have a question for you.
Please.
Since we've taken the old junior high out,
Yes.
how much money are we saving that we were spending for security, whatever we had to do in order to keep that place safe? Paul, can you give us a rough idea on how much we saved, probably a year?
I don't know, probably the only big cost would have been the insurance costs. Other than that, we weren't spending a whole lot, other than the police chasing the cops.
20K?
Yeah, it's right in
20K?
here already.
20K for the
Oh, okay.
insurance, so.
All right,
20K
all right, so it's
for
20, about
maintenance.
20,000 we're saving?
It's already in there.
Okay, thank you.
All
Okay.
right, next page. Paul, before you, I mean, you can sit, but ambulance replacement, nothing's been put aside. That's been moved over to the fire truck replacement.
Okay.
And now we're on to storm drains.
What page?
37.
Perfect, thank you. Page 37.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you, Paul.
We usually do the bottom of the line and pass it around.
Thank you, Paul.
I'll bring it closer, Paul. Closer? Yeah, please. Thanks.
Hey.
That's tonight.
Yes, I did. I can function without sharing. It's difficult.
Trevor did this. He did this.
Okay, let's go.
The first item on that is storm drains, which originally we had proposed nothing because we thought we had enough money coming back from what we've already spent on Sunset Heights as reimbursements, but that isn't coming back the way we thought. We might get, I don't know if we had a chance to look, we might have $100,000 coming back. So basically, we're about $400,000 short for the contract that we would have for Robert Street sewer, storm sewer.
$400,000
$400,000.
short?
We have, in that too, we have two different numbers, a number from the state and the number that Sherry has. There were about $100,000 difference on what's left on that grant. Our numbers are roughly 700,000. The state says we have roughly 800,000,
I'm still waiting on clarification.
and she's
for
still
that.
working on that.
Okay.
So I'm going with the 700,000 because I kind of trust her numbers more than the state. The contract would be $1,080,000. So if we go 400,000 on that, we'd fund the rest of that project.
Okay, thank you.
Streets and roads is what I've given you. I came up with 3 different plans. Plan A was my original proposal to do the Abbott Road and the costs. The second plan is what you guys were requesting was the Wyman Bog Road, eliminate the Abbott Road. And Plan C is the Wyman Bog Road without paving this year. Because you can see if we do all of the Bog Road and paving, we're up over $1 million.
So how much are you must be saving money by doing the Wyman from the Abbott.
No, we're not.
I thought the Abbott Road was much bigger.
No, because the Abbott Road's only paving. The Bog Road, we have to actually build up the
Do
base.
the whole thing. Okay, and you don't have a price in there for the Wyman Road.
Yes.
And Plan B?
Line 6 is the Wyman Bog Road.
Plan A does not include Wyman, Plan B includes Wyman, and then Plan C includes Wyman, but not a full pave.
So through the chair, you wouldn't be able to do both the Abbott Road and Wyman Plan C?
When do you get,
You'll have to add another 235,000 to that 848.
can't pave it this year?
Or add another 135 to the 953?
Yes. Should come out about the same.
Same thing.
It should come out about the same. Hopefully it comes out the same. I haven't done the math.
Time-wise, is that feasible?
The time-wise is what's difficult right now.
Okay.
Because until they open bids on March 25th for Cushman Road and Clinton Ave, and I don't know who the contractor is, it's hard to get a schedule of what Clinton Avenue and Cushman Road is going to be.
Okay, so
I thought
Plan
we
A-
already, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I thought we already had contracts to do the.
No,
the
we have a
paving.
contract with DOT to pay our share of the
Oh,
project. But DOT contract is out to bids as we speak.
Okay.
The bid opening is the 25th of this month.
you-
Hopefully, when we find out who the contractor is and we can have communication, we get a little bit better idea what their schedule
This
is.
one is just keeping.
I'd love to see them show up here early. But if they sit there and say, oh, we're not coming till September, that kind of,
Yeah, it puts a damper on
it
it.
puts a damper on being productive. We'll get around it, but
So they can do
Well,
the Abbott Road.
my biggest concern again with the Wyman Road bog is that it's been kicked down the road in the last 5 years, and I think it's a hazard for the people that's there. And I talked to Mike as well. Mike says, yeah, we can get somebody stuck there, but we can get them out. But I says, how about if it's the last person on that road? When you get down to that last flat, if you're stuck there, especially with a tanker,
So far, the
Well-
road's been good this year.
Yes, so far. But
And I don't think it's
the
gonna
thing
get
is, we've
worse.
kicked it down the road, we've kicked it down 5 years. I mean, just to put an extra road for Alcom. I mean, this is a hazard, I think.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I know that we can get emergency units up the Abbott Road and we can get it everywhere else.
Right.
Wyman Road, it should be a done deal. We should do it done and finish it up this year. I truly believe that.
Through the chair, he could prep the Wyman Bog Road for 135 this year and then next year pave it. He didn't say
But are you gonna have enough time if you did that?
Well, prepping it is no
There's time,
further
and
than
this
where
puts
they
us
are.
over $1 million as well.
I think
Yeah,
so.
1.088, 100.
Like I said, it's really hard to commit time-wise until I know what the other contracts are doing.
So that 135 would at least make the road passable for.
It would be like the first part. It'd be all rebased, it'd be weatherproof.
So they're not gonna get the mud and the sliding, and any car without a four-wheel drive should get in and out?
No, just like the first part that we did a couple years ago.
Well, after tomorrow, there'll probably just four-wheel drives on the Wyman Road.
I think the rain's actually helping us.
What's that?
The rain is actually helping us. It's taking the frost out. The road is better today than it was last Friday.
Have to go back down.
So are we deciding tonight what we're doing with the Wyman Road?
I think we should.
Kind of have
Which
to a little
plan?
bit. I mean, this is the capital. You guys have to decide what.
You gotta do, we have to decide tonight, because that's part of this budget.
Yeah, Plan A, B, or C.
I hope it's not. I put this together. I can figure out how else to explain it to you guys.
No,
But
this
the-
is
No, you're
very
fine.
good, thank you.
Makes sense.
I think, through the chair, I think Plan C makes sense to prep the road this year. I think anytime you prep a road, if you pave it a year, I mean, I know it would be okay, but it seems though if we wait a year to pave it, do the prep work this year for the 135, and then following year pave, then when we, yeah, that's what I think Plan C makes sense.
Through the chair,
This
Plan
year.
C also, because it's cheaper than where we're at now currently with the prior proposed, it's also gonna offset some of that storm drain as well, which has
Okay.
been increased.
Through the chair. Paul, now, I know when we do a lot of excavation, especially on the Wyman Road, and the depth of that, would it be better for the paving, waiting a year so that compacts?
No, not really.
Wouldn't make any difference?
No.
So, with that being
If we,
said,
if we do it right, you should be able to pave right after we're done. We do that all the time.
I think we need to stay focused on the reason we brought this up in the first place, which was safety of life, right? So that's the only reason we're even going to try to change the original plan. There's nothing that supersedes that. You can put the Band-Aid on, but like Paul said, you could do the whole thing this year as well. You put the Band-Aid on, they've been having a Band-Aid for how many years? How many years?
that
how
road's-
many years?
That road has been open for 50 years.
So I think they've been very patient, overly patient, and I can't get the one thing out of my mind when one lady said, you're talking about paving these other roads, and ours has never been paved, period. And then the second thing, which stayed in my mind, was the safety of it.
Yeah.
There is no safety in it.
So through the chair, Plan B then would prep and pave the Wyman Road and would put off the Abbott Road, correct?
Both Plan B and C put off the Abbott Road.
Correct. And Plan B would finalize the Wyman Road once and for all.
Yes,
Okay.
but it's also,
A little bit more money, 70
money.
grand more.
and not to throw anything into in more controversy, it's just, I just feel bad that we're not doing more paving this year because I get the feeling next year's paving prices are gonna go through the roof with what's happening overseas and the price of oil and everything else, but it is what it is. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, if we don't pave it, then this year it could cost us $400,000 next year just for the Wyman Road. So you know what?
I'm just
I
throwing
say-
that out there as information.
Yeah, so I think we ought to pave it.
If you want to do Plan C, then that's what we're
I'm
gonna
gonna
do.
go with Plan B. Anybody else have what they might like?
Plan C.
Plan B.
C for me, bro.
I like Plan B. I think if we should do it, we should get it done. Yes, there's a little bit of a difference, but we need to show these residents that we care about them. And I wonder, and I'm not an expert, but if we put it off and we just base it, can we have to go back and do the same work twice?
No.
Depending on what happens?
No. The first part that we did, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago now is still ready for pavement. It just needs to be graded. It hasn't moved, it won't move. But that's your call.
Thank you.
To do B or C, we wouldn't be able to do the Abbott Road. So B or C is the choice.
The only thing we might be able to do on the Abbott Road is if we have the time, is do some of the ditching ahead of time. So we'll be ahead for next year.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry. A little louder.
We might be able to do ditching on the Abbott Road if we get everything caught up in time without touching the pavement, we're already started out there cutting trees. We've been cutting the right-of-way for the last couple of weeks.
On the Abbott Road?
On the Abbott Road.
So to get past this one part of this budget item, we need to decide if we're going to move forward with B or C. So all those in favor of B, just raise your hand. That makes it not unanimous, I'm sorry. That's,
4 to 3.
that's 4 to, no, it wasn't. 1,
5.
2, 3,
I saw
4,
5.
5 to 2.
So Plan B is what we're gonna go.
Plan
Thank
B.
you.
So the next item down is Public Works Equipment. I originally was requesting $377 because I wanted to replace our 2010 plow truck. Talking with Mark, we decided to push it off for another year. So the total ask is $77,000. It's a replacement pickup for the mechanics and a spare snow blower for our sidewalk machine.
So you're taking off item number 1, the 292,000?
Correct.
Okay, that's only 77,000.
Not because I wanted to.
What is it? You said you need a new truck? A mechanic's truck? What's wrong with the one they have now?
It's a 2013, the frame's about ready to break in half, so it's,
Frame is broken.
The frame is gone, you said?
the frame is gone. It won't pass inspection another time. It was a used truck when we bought it. But we're trying to get them set up with something a little more useful for them, with a lift gate and,
Are you gonna put that truck up to bid or anything like that, or just get rid of it? Like
that
you
one,
did
that one will
last-
go out to bids. You won't get much for it, but
Yeah.
if it
Yeah,
doesn't
we
pass.
can, we can move right past that and stick right to the budget that we're talking about.
Yep.
So, excuse me,
Go
but
ahead.
right now, we're taking out the plow truck for 292,
Yes.
Yes.
but it was in the budget. It was his budget. We just decided recently to do that?
No,
now.
we decided that when Mark and I went through the budget.
So the final budget numbers do not include this plow
Correct.
truck?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
But this is my total, basically capital presentation I had when I started, so
Sure.
that's why you're seeing
Yeah,
everything.
no problem.
Just don't be surprised if I come back next year and I ask for 2 trucks, but
So that's 75,000 instead.
So that's good, that's good, that's good for
I'm
the
sorry,
people.
85,000.
Very good.
85.
the next item was town garage. We got some crazy prices on our fuel upgrade, so we added a little bit extra money. This is basically add capacity to our gas system, change one of the pumps, and do some upgrades since we supply fuel for everybody. Our gas pump right now, the actual unleaded gas pump only has one hose on it, only has one dispenser. And with the school buses all running gas now and everybody else, a lot of people are waiting for that one hose, so. But unfortunately, a dispenser is like $20,000 just to get so nothing's cheap, so,
20,000?
yeah.
We just saved all that money on that plow truck.
The only other item at the bottom is the culvert replacement. That is the culvert that we have a contract for on the North Pond Road. That is all contracted for that amount. I added about $20,000 to that to pay for inspection services for our engineer to be able to oversee the job, make sure it gets done right.
Is this the culvert that we had proposed last
Yes,
year?
yes.
They had to make it?
Yes. They couldn't get it last year, so we had to push it ahead. So that price doesn't change. It's just I need to have a little extra money to pay for the engineers to inspect it and make sure that it's done
And
right.
That's going on Robert Street?
That is going on North Pond Road, next
okay.
to Giordano's.
All right. I know where it is.
And that's, the next item down is the sewer department, and that's our normal $200,000 capital that we have in the normal operating budget that just gets transferred to this line item to be spent. that's an annual set aside.
We don't do anything with cemeteries for improvements or,
We haven't. That's something I do want to get in there this spring and get a surveyor out there to GPS all the cemeteries and get some accurate maps. Because there's some cemeteries that there's only probably 2 people who know where they are, and I'm not one. And I'm not one of them.
I think I know one of them.
One of the, through the chair, cemeteries historically have always had to have a fence around them. So a lot of our cemeteries,
It says-
boundaries, the outer boundaries, because what happens is over the years, trees creep in, at least with a fence, you know, the maintenance areas, and
And
I
I
think
thought
there's
that-
something that requires them to have a fence, but I'm not entirely sure about
It
that.
requires a boundary. So I've been told you can use rocks or posts or a tree line, but it would be nice to, I've got a cemetery on my property that, you know, the fence is rotten and fallen down and everything's kind of dilapidated in the town. It's nice to see when you keep those things up that,
Yeah.
you know, that we're respecting the
We
people that
need,
have
we need
passed.
to do some effort on those, and
Yeah, I know they've been doing a lot with the cemetery stones and stuff, and that's starting to perk the cemeteries up and make
Yeah.
them look nice, but to get some extra money in there so that people could do some work to revitalize them a little bit, I think would be important.
Through the chair, we've also started having meetings on the town side regarding cemeteries. I think I gave you guys that update about a month or 2 ago. So we're trying to come up with long-term planning as well when it comes to taking care of these.
Perfect.
oh, Amanda.
You're up. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
I'll be back.
Can I just clarify one thing? Are you guys proposing putting money in the capital cemetery account this year? Or no?
You said we haven't been doing anything with it, right? Do we have money at all?
There is a little bit.
No.
You're all
No,
right.
you're good.
There's a little bit in a maintenance line item that would be enough to like fix a fence. Like you could start doing small projects that way.
Or mowing the lawn, or do
Well,
we?
no,
do-
there's a
That's a
contract, just a
contract.
contractual one
Oh.
for the cemeteries for mowing, and then there's a small line item for maintenance that they could start tackling some of those projects.
And Jason's already taken, you know, wood and everything and putting it off to the side. I think,
Yep.
did he contact you yet about storing?
Not yet.
No? Okay.
But that's true. He has some wood
Yep.
already pulled aside for some fencing, and he's creative and industrial. So, rec development, I would like to think is Paul and me, even though I'm the one sitting here. Basically, it's $100,000. It's a lot of money. We have another huge chunk of playground that needs to be replaced. It's 29 years old. The average lifespan of a unit is 25 to 30. It's 29. Trevor's done a great job. I don't know if Trevor's still here. Yep. Trevor's done a great job of trying to fix this up the best he can, but to really fix it, you're looking about $12,000 to $20,000, and it's already at his age life expectancy, so it doesn't make financial sense to put that kind of money into something that's already going away. It's about $110,000 to replace that unit with something similar that's installed. So it's kind of up to you guys if you want to do that in 1 year. I think we're kind of on the same page where that unit's going to have to come out this summer, just because it's not safe anymore. We don't want
Which
any.
park are you talking about?
Delaire Street, for Halifax Playground on
Oh,
Delaire
yeah.
Street. There's 2 large units there, so the biggest one needs to be removed. It'll have to be removed this summer, so it's just a matter of, are we immediately replacing it, or is it gonna take us a couple years to fund that? The only caveat to that, I would say, is a lot of our playground equipment is aging out at the same time. So this conversation's gonna keep happening almost every year. My long plan thought process would be to make the playgrounds all maybe a little bit smaller. Like right now, Delaire Street has 2 large units. It's really spread out, and maybe make one that's got the big unit, but make it a little bit smaller. Norton just got a new piece of equipment last year. That landscaping is going to be redone this spring, and that's going to look really nice. The one at the 107, I'd have to look it up in my office, but I think that one's aging out in the next 5 to 10 years. So that's kind of, where we're at with the playgrounds.
Through the chair, how about the one on Norton Street? We're gonna be digging right straight through there, aren't we, Paul?
Nope. That's
Or
why we
not?
waited so long on replacing that one, because we thought the original plan was to go through that, but the plan changed. Now it's going to be going through between where the concession shack is down by the base of the soccer field. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay. So it's not gonna disturb
Nope.
that whatsoever?
That's why we kind of waited so long on replacing that one, because I was kind of waiting. We didn't want to do that exact thing. Yeah, that would be awful.
Okay.
Through the
Alright.
chair, the destination playground, in my opinion, for the town of Winslow is Fort Delia Street. That's where everybody goes, so I think if we do change it out, I think for missing it for a year would be.
Huge impact.
would
We'll be
not
getting
be a
some
good
phone calls.
Look for the town, that's just my feeling, but I think if we do change it, then we should do the work. But whether it's this year or next, but you're saying it might not last a year, you might have to take it.
No, it's going to have to come out this year. Like Trevor did the best he could. He worked.
It's an extreme liability right now. with
Yep.
what's broken, what's missing on that playground.
Yeah, no, I brought my kids there the other
And we-
day, even the snow happened.
And
Technically closed.
it's technically closed in the winter if you look at our code. And there is a sign.
Wing here? All right,
But what I went through with all the Trevor's pictures and sent them to the manufacturer to replace the parts was just not cost effective for that piece of equipment.
If you take it out, can you replace it this year?
Well, we could order it before July 1st, but it would come after July 1st. So it would go back in this year, but it may not be. It depends on the contractor too, because they only certified contractors can put in playground equipment. So it depends what we can get on a list. It's a lot of moving parts. I've learned with playground equipment. It's better now that we're a little bit post-COVID, but we've already picked out a layout in the unit to get the price. So I'd say maybe by mid to end summer, but it's a little bit out of our hands because it depends on the contractor. With the Neptune's tower, we put in at Norton, it was a wait, and then all of a sudden they called and they're like, "Can we come next week?" So it's really at their mercy.
No, we can only do what we can do, right?
Yep.
We had kind of discussed that, whether we put all the money this year or we hold off, put half this year and do the rest of it next year, that's your call.
Yep. It's a tough
I think
call.
you should just do it
I mean, I agree, but
as soon as you can, yeah.
I don't think I've ever asked for this
There's
much
not
money in my life.
There's
So
not much for kids to do in Winslow, so
Yeah.
a playground's pretty important.
yeah, I think that's it for me for this one.
Are you guys gonna take a vote on that, or are we keeping that in there?
What's the cost of this if we go and do the whole thing?
Well, she was asking for 100,000.
Is that what she needed for the full thing to be done?
Yes.
It's 110,000 fully installed.
And what about disposal of the old?
Trevor?
Mostly metal and plastic, so half of it will go to the scrapyard and some of it will have to pay to get rid of that bulk waste.
So we're looking to approve 110,000.
But you already had,
She's got a little bit in
Well,
her
there's-
capital.
she already has 34,000 left in that account, I believe.
What do we need to approve?
100.
That's why we're only asking
Yeah,
for
100.
100.
100, okay, so can we get a consensus on that? Everybody in favor? Of course. And Paul, you're up.
I'm up again. The next item falls under the parks maintenance part of it. And you have that on your sheet of the breakdown. Part of it is for wood chips for the one at Norton Field that we have to redo. Because basically they installed the unit. We still have to finish landscaping, add the wood chips to that unit. There was a request for a shelter and table at the 107 Park.
Yes, I did, thank you so very much.
I mean, if we're gonna do something, we're gonna do something like we did at Fort Halifax. We're gonna put a slab and a nice table and a roof
Yep,
and.
very nice.
and do- and do
That's
some-
very
and do
nice,
something
thank you.
decent. And then I had 22,000 for some of the athletic
Can you-
structures, like the
Can
dugouts.
you bring that mic up to you, Paul, please?
Sorry.
Okay.
The other 22,000 is for maintenance to, like the dugouts and stuff that are at the athletic fields that we got some quotes on to do, so. We've got some of those, we don't have much choice. MMA is really cracking down that, you know, there's a hole here and there's a, they're not safe, you know?
Okay.
So, that's where that 50,500 comes from. And I believe that is it for me tonight. You'll be glad that I stopped asking.
Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome. Thank you, Paul.
Through the chair, can I ask Amanda another question?
Sure.
Amanda, could you go back up? She's gone?
Nope, she's here.
Okay. I know that we've had some issues down at Fort Halifax Park, and there was talk, I believe, about setting up a couple cameras, surveillance cameras at the park or other places in town to monitor those activities. Have we looked into that or done anything?
I believe we have a meeting coming up to discuss all of those things. So nothing really, like.
Nothing in the
we're-
budget for this year for anything like that?
No, that meeting's tomorrow?
I think it is tomorrow.
I thought it was Thursday.
I think it's Wednesday.
There is a meeting this week.
We have the meeting this week, I'll tell you right now.
Wednesday at 10 o'clock.
No, that's Wednesday, 10 a.m.
Wednesday, 10 o'clock. Yeah, okay.
So
We'll be
that's,
there.
that's
Okay.
all the
I got
update,
a-
thanks.
I got a topic.
Is that something we can revisit this if need be after the meeting? Or is it not worth trying to put it in for this year, or?
Are you guys just talking about security cameras?
Yeah.
Pull that from someplace
Halifax
else.
Park?
Wow. Very preliminary, but
You
What do
do
we-
still have some money in that account. I don't know how much the security cameras are gonna cost, but you do
It
have.
depends on what we're trying to get.
I think we
Something
need to meet
high
Wednesday
up
and
there
then
needs to be a-
we-
yeah.
We need to meet and then we'll figure
Right.
it out.
Reconvene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
All right, we ready? Keep going?
Yep.
Under maintenance equipment, so just carry on the same page. Sports track, 5,000 last year, kept it
Wait,
at,
Yeah, through the chair, I have a question on that, because that track was just redone 2 years ago.
Through the chair, if I may, yeah, go ahead. Well, go
Amanda's
ahead.
gonna be able to assist.
That track needs to be redone. It has maintenance every 5, 10, and like 40 years. And so what we do is we put a certain amount of money into a capital account every year, and the school matches that same amount. And then when the bill comes due, we split the bill. Now, the last time we had a resurfacing, we did not have enough money in our account, and it was triple what it was estimated to cost, and the school paid the whole thing. So we just keep putting 5,000 in. I think the next round of maintenance is 6 years from now. And when we don't maintain the track, it falls apart. And I wasn't around when that happened, but I guess it was pretty bad when it did happen, and it cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that's what that account is for. Every year we put 5 in, the school puts 5, and we match.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
So that's
What-
just to set aside for the next,
That's set aside for the next resurfacing or painting or UV protection or whatever the next maintenance
Okay.
is.
Through the
Thank-
chair.
thank you.
Through the chair. Now, what kind of surfacing is that for the track?
I would have to look it up. I have all the information on the track. The
So
last.
it deteriorates within time? Was that
Yes,
because of
because you
UV
think
lighting and that?
it is extremely used, that track by the residents, the school, my rec program. We have track meets, the field hockey tracks in the middle of it. That has constant use from the second the snow and ice is gone, right until the snow and ice begins. So we try to make sure people are rotating which way they're going, but just the wear and tear on the track. And it's just full sun all day, every day. And to keep up the depth that it's supposed to be at, relining it. Not each time, sometimes it's a skim coat and a reline. I haven't, when I first started 10 years ago, it was where they took it down probably 2 inches and rebuilt up, but that only has to happen every like 15 years.
Is there anything that we can apply, or is there anything that can be applied to this track that actually prevents some of the UV lighting deterioration?
The only maintenance that we're required to do, or that's recommended we do, is when we mow, we blow the stuff off of it. We keep things off of it that they're not supposed to be, like cleats, things like that. But other than that, we're doing what we need to do on our side. It's just regular maintenance.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Through the chair. I have a clarification question, just so I can get it right in my mind. Are we looking at 2 vehicles, 2 trucks? One for mechanic's truck and one for, or is this just maintenance for equipment, 50,000 for a truck?
Katie, that note on the side of that one for parks
Yeah.
should have come off of there. That isn't a parks truck.
Okay, so that is the same truck as we're talking about.
Paul, right? You're only asking for the mechanic's truck.
Just one picture.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So that little note out to the side should have been taken out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that was last year.
Okay, Fort Halifax Park, last year 5,000, same 5,000, structural repairs and trash receptacles. Skip down to maintenance, so that's building maintenance, move from budget to capital. That was 10K, it's down to 5K. And then town forest, nothing. That's funded with a TIF.
I have a question, and it's probably not this maintenance, but in maintenance in general, you have a lot of things that say maintenance. So I'm just curious, what does that mean? Because are we maintaining the stuff we already have, or we wait until it breaks and then buying it? Like the heat pumps, I believe, in the main office, they weren't working last year. Then I found out they had never even been cleaned. So when we put maintenance, are we maintaining, are we cleaning the boilers or whatever heats the town office? Are we cleaning the heat pumps each year like we should? That's maintenance, right? Is that getting done?
That's part of the maintenance. I mean, I can't speak for years before, but I
don't
know,
think-
like, for instance, the fire alarm system, we just had it inspected this week. So I know we do have routine maintenance for those kind of things, but to be determined. I mean, 5 months here.
I just think whenever I see the maintenance, and then all
Sure.
I hear is about how they didn't have their heat pumps to cool them off last summer.
Right.
Because they broke down because they had never been maintained.
Right. Yeah, that's not good.
So we need to make sure wherever we're saying maintaining, we're actually doing something for the maintenance before it breaks and we have to replace it.
Yeah, typically if you have these services, you should be maintaining the equipment. That should come with it. I'd be surprised if the buildings
So who does
weren't.
all that? Who makes sure those
It
things
de-
are being maintained?
It depends on the system. I mean, if it's an HVAC system, it's going to be an HVAC company, and then
No,
so
no,
on
no.
and so
I mean,
forth.
who at the town office
Oh,
makes
I'm
sure
sorry.
the heat pumps and the furnaces and,
Paul just
Who is
nominated
that?
you, Mark.
Paul just volunteered me, so.
well, I think it's important somebody's
No, it
making
is.
sure
It
they're
is.
being done,
And this
right?
is something we've talked about recently too, because that's been the problem. Is something with the new generator coming on board, making sure that's being kept up with. And again, even the fire alarm system has been an issue as well. So that's near its end of life as well.
So we need
for the
some sort
building.
of a plan for a maintenance plan, right?
We sure
Going
do.
forward?
And
We
we've
do.
kept no records up until this point of any of the maintenance we've done.
I don't think they have.
There's records. How good are they over the years is the other question, but
We have invoices for everything that gets maintained and paid.
Maintain.
We don't have a
I know
schedule
the
or.
boilers-
No, that's what they need. They need
Yeah.
a plan, a maintenance plan.
But it
That's
seems
what
like we should be able to go back historically and find something. I mean, it seems unreal that
Absolutely.
we would have no.
you absolutely should be with any system in place.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, we're getting there.
So Mark was gonna be getting there.
Yes, me.
Paul says so. Paul says so.
Paul says so.
Okay.
I take care of myself, so.
He does. Last on at the bottom, 1804 schoolhouse, 2,500, kept it at 2,500. And again, just that last update, we're getting the roof replaced. Outside of that, we're done on this sheet, and then we have to revisit, it was the admin salaries.
Before we move on, are you guys in agreement with what's on the capital? You're at 2,068,000 as a total. 2,068,650.
And that was line by line. We discussed everything. I don't think anybody had an outstanding problem.
I just want to make sure that's what we're going with.
Through the chair, obviously, when we add up all, we see what the mill rate is, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Everybody should reserve the right to go back into the budget and see what we need to cut, or if we do cut, or what we need to cut or add.
Absolutely.
Or flip around, so.
But we wanna have a
might agree
completion as
now-
close.
Agree now, but I think we need to.
We need to have a completion as close as possible
Yes.
now.
Yep.
So everybody's all set with what Sherry just asked. Everybody just raise your hand. That's unanimous. Okay.
You guys want a good news update?
I'm sorry?
You want a good news update? That
Yes.
generator will be in around April 13th.
Nice, very nice, very needed, very good.
They have one in the yard, so.
What are you saying? What will be in the?
Generator.
Oh, nice.
And have we accomplished figuring out that temporary solution to make sure that?
Yes.
Thanks, Chief.
Mike stays up all night and pays attention to the electricity.
It was super simple, so simple even a caveman could do it, so that's what.
That's always a good sign.
Yeah.
Quickly with the admin, with the admin salaries, there was the discussion about adding that admin assistant for the police department. estimated around $24 an hour.
Which annually?
Sherry, you have that? It's probably about-
I thought we agreed to 23, that's what I put in the budget.
23 was our last.
Do you want me to change
Please.
it?
No,
I can change
23.
it. Okay. So annually, it's 47,840.
Everybody good with that? Just a show of hands. Unanimous.
And then it was just the breakdown of the admin. Initially, I was trying to cover it as a full and then individually divide up accordingly, but I'm going to allow you all, you guys have your own kind of approach and thoughts on that, so I'll open it up to you guys.
I'm going to start with reminding everybody sitting here tonight that we are talking about the positions. We are not talking about the personnel. We are not going to speak about their job performance in any way, whether it's good or bad. We're not talking about that. We're talking about salaries and positions. That's it. Everybody's clear? And what I've been looking at, and it's probably not going to please a lot of people here tonight, but I'm hoping, this is just me, everybody else is going to have their piece. I was looking at the amounts of money, and I'm just going to read them off. And my only one that I looked at on here that I was concerned about was the finance director's position, because it's brand new. We've never had one, and I think it's grossly underpaid. So I personally would not have a problem with going from 70,408 to the 9.2, which includes the step raise that all the employees get, and bring that financial director's salary up to 76,897. Some of the other positions, you have HR that's currently making $71,302. The clerk is currently making $73,715. The Public Works Director currently makes $95,659. The foreman at Public Works, one of them, is making $80,308. The sewer foreman is making $66,560. The fire chief is currently making $95,992. The police chief's position is currently at $96,803. Parks and Rec is currently at $80,500. Now, if you add just the COLA and the steps that the town gives, that's going to bring the HR director from $71,302 up to $73,811. The clerk, if you just give her a COLA, or the person a COLA and a step up, that brings her from $73,715 up to $76,715. Public Works Director, currently making $95,659. You give him his longevity and his COLA, that's going to bring him up to almost $99,000. The foreman's position, same thing, COLA and step, that's going to bring him from $80,308 up to $83,345. The sewer foreman, currently $66,560. The COLA and the step only is going to bring him up to $68,894. The fire chief will go from $95,992 to $99,574. The police chief, $96,803, will bring him up to $99,715. The Parks and Rec, $80,500 will bring that person up to $83,460. That's with just their COLAs and their step-ups. That's two raises the town of Winslow has been giving the employees. I'm not sure, but I'm going to guess about 5 years. Those are very good raises, and I'm speaking tonight for myself on what I think is very good money that we pay our employees for the town of Winslow. I think that asking for raises on top of the two they're already getting, I cannot look at a resident in Winslow if they were to ask me, first of all, and tell them we do not pay our employees well, because we pay them very well. You add their benefits on top, They get paid very well. They have very good hours they work. We're not talking job performance, we're talking about what this town can afford. Years ago, when the Scott Paper Company was running and paid the big part of our taxes, we were a richer community then. You get in your car and you drive around Winslow today, and you think we're as rich as we were then. We're not. And if we keep giving COLA and step-ups, guaranteed every year raises, by the end of 5 years, some of these people are going to be making over $100,000 a year. It's not sustainable. We have to start thinking fiscally responsible to the people of this town. They will not be able to continue paying this and sustain what we have. We may have to get rid of the HR and just have the clerk do 3 jobs. We can't sustain it. That's good money. That's my opinion on behalf of the people of Winslow. And I also want to say that if these were raises they're automatically going to get, but they asked for raises on top of that. And I think here's an example. Last year, they got 5%, 4.1%, 5.4%, 4.6%. They all got raises on top of their COLA and steps last year as well. So you are looking at a lot of money that this town is expected to pay. I don't believe residents get a COLA every year. I don't believe they're getting step-up program. And I understand that may not equate much to some people being upset, but we have to think, because those are the people that are giving you your jobs and paying for you to be here. I in no way would ever think that, I just think the salaries are quite good for what we have. And that's just my opinion. So my vote tonight is the financial director be the only person to get that increase, because that position is grossly underpaid. Because it's brand new, I don't think they knew where to set it. As for the rest, I believe their COLA and their step is raised enough. That's my opinion.
Through the chair. Just to clarify.
I'm just going to let Doris go first.
Okay.
Okay, through the chair, I want to remind everyone here and everyone listening that in addition to these salaries, which I believe are excellent paid salaries, for health benefits, I want to remind everyone, a single employee, their health benefits, the town is contributing $16,313. And on top of the lowest paid, I'm going to take the lowest paid position, $70,000. Add $70,000 and $16,000, you're talking $76,000 just for health benefits. You're not including that we're paying 100% of their dental, and we're also paying up to 10% of their retirement plan. So I'm going to use the lowest paid position, $70,000. 10% would be another $7,000. So we'd be getting the $70,000, the $16,000 plus the $7,000. Personally, I think that's very good money for the lowest paid position at the town.
Mark?
Just to clarify, those requests are not on top of COLA. So if somebody, just to throw out a number, if it's an 8% increase, that's not 8 plus 3% plus step.
Nope.
This wasn't turned into 11% ask. So
No,
I wanted to make sure that's clarified.
No, and I do, because I like with the finance director, or here's one, with the HR director's position, the COLA and the step would represent 3.5%. But if they didn't, they would only get the step and the raise. That would be 5.5%. So I understand what you're saying. If they get a raise that they're requesting, they wouldn't get their COLA. But I can tell you the raise is equaling a lot more than the COLA and their step up. So I did have the numbers for that as well. Thank you, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Through the chair. I go through Winslow every day. I go through Waterville. And then I start looking at the houses in Winslow. And we have to look at this, I have to look at it a different way. We have to look at what we want, but then after that, we look at the people and say, what are their needs? And I think where this town here has a lot of people that's on, set incomes. They don't get a raise of cost, for the cost as far as cost of living. I think we ought to focus on the needs and not on the wants. Only for the fact that we do have an aging group of people in Winslow, I think is probably the majority of it, that we have that are on fixed incomes. I think that's a big concern that we have to look at. I know sometimes some of us say, okay, well, we have to go up a little bit every year, but you know what? When we had a tax evaluation, that was one heck of a jump. It went right through the roof. Nobody said, okay, well, why don't we just bring it up a little bit for the next 5 years? No, it was a big jump. I think right now, if we would do justice if we brought that down or keep it at what we have right now, but not go up any more than what we have right now. And that's my biggest concern, is for the elderly with fixed incomes. I have a big concern for that. That's all I'm
We
saying.
also have to keep in mind that on top of asking for these raises, the insurance has gone up, I think it's like 9.5%. So that's a big increase that the taxpayers are going to be paying for the employees. So add the cost of the insurance going up, getting your COLA, getting your STEP, and that's a pretty significant increase in pay, as far as I'm concerned. But
Through the chair,
Yes.
if I may. So I just misunderstood you, I think, Fran. Did you say you were in favor of step and raise but not COLA?
no,
Okay.
No,
just
I'm in
explain it
favor-
again. I'm sorry.
no,
Apologize.
I'm in favor for everyone besides the finance director to get their COLA and step up. We can't change the COLA or the step up, that's their policy.
Yeah.
So we can't do nothing. They're gonna get that no matter what. I'm just saying, I'm not for approving the other raises suggested that they wanted on top of all of this. So the numbers that I gave to people and all of us tonight, those are their raises with their step and their COLA. I didn't add in the 20% here, the 16% increase here, the 5% there. So I just said, there's just no way you can sustain, the town cannot sustain at this growing rate of every year, just more and more. You just can't afford it. Just can't afford
You
it.
gotta remember, you gotta consider what the town pays for their dental, for their health benefits, for their retirement plan. That's a lot of money for every single position that the town, comes out of the town's coffers.
Through the chair.
Yes.
We have to also accept that that's standard as well for
Correct.
municipalities. It's not like Winslow's the only one
Right,
paying those
I
packages.
understand.
That
Yeah.
exists
These
in
are
any
excellent
town as well.
benefits because I pay my own.
They're
health.
excellent, but they
Okay,
exist
we're
everywhere.
not gonna go personal.
Right.
We're not going
I
personal.
get it.
So we're just, anybody else have something they wanna say?
I just want to say something. I had an elderly lady that I've known for years, and I bumped into her, and she asked me, says, the tax is going to go up this year. And I said, well, that's undetermined until we do the budget. But they said, Mike says, if it goes up again, says, I'm not going to be able to live in that house that she's been living in there for over 50 years. We got to think about that. That's all I got to say.
This is about salary increases. This, and affects a very small part of the budget we're doing. So it may not affect it. I think Mark said it was 0.9% or.
That was with my original ask.
With your original ask.
Not coming back to the table with the secondaries.
Right.
We're talking the original asks was 0.09.
So, but it may not affect the mill rate the way everybody thinks. What it'll affect is, you need to understand, we cannot sustain paying these increases every year and keep a municipality. We can't afford it. So you need to think about, and we're talking about this year, and we're just talking about this year. And if we're going to look at other things, including what contributes to the budget, say the school, then we need to honestly look at our house and make sure that we're looking and doing the best we can to be responsible with that financially.
Through the chair.
Yes.
I've thought a lot about this one because it's difficult when folks work hard or when we want all these roles for our municipality. Then I started doing some research and some things jumped out at me. Like Winslow's median household income is $70,000 a year. So it's kind of hard for us to send a message to our community of folks who are struggling or who may not be making ends meet that we're going to give folks raises that are, 6, 7, 8%. That's a hard story to tell. And even further than that, Winslow's unemployment rate is actually one of the lowest in all of our peer communities, but yet we still have 21% of our children living below the poverty line in this town at this time. 14% of our residents receive SNAP benefits, which I'm so grateful that that program exists. But I think all of those are indicators of a struggling community and a community that is just barely able to keep their heads above water. So it's hard because no one wants to disrespect the employees or the positions of this town. But as a resident and someone who, watches a woman in a grocery store put back items because she literally cannot afford them, even though she probably needs them, it's hard for me to look at them and say, you didn't get a raise this year, or maybe you got laid off, as we have tens of thousands of people across the country having that experience. But we're going to approve these raises of double digits, the national average or greater. And so, that's how I feel. I understand income is important for everyone, but as an advocate for this town and its residents, that's kind of where I stand.
My last statement on this particular thing is, being a municipality and budgeting is not sustainable over the years. When you look at roads, you look at every cost of fire truck. When I first started with the fire department, a truck cost $95,000. Now it's fire trucks. So overall, municipal budgets are extremely difficult and not sustainable for the future. Where does the price increase stop? And it stops, and it's going to be put on to the taxpayers. To me, roads are important, fire trucks are important, ambulances, police cruisers, everything. The most important commodity in a town is the people, is your people. Those are the ones that every day meet everybody coming into that office, meet everybody on the track or in sports events, meets everybody, every place, they come into the town office. That is the bread and butter of the town. And I think that, although I think we can do better, I sometimes wonder if that's the area where we're making a stand to cut drastically. That I have a difficulty with that sometimes.
And I hear you, and I appreciate the fact, but we're not asking to cut anything. We're just not giving a raise. They're getting 2 other raises, but we've not cut anything.
I understand that.
Most average Americans get about a 3% annual increase if they're in a dynamic where their employer can afford it. So I don't feel, from my personal opinion, that that's an insulting increase by any way, shape, or form. And like I said before, I think if we went back and did some research, a lot of companies probably, including my own. I mean, I didn't get an increase this year from my employer. They just simply couldn't afford it, right? But I still have my job, and I'm grateful for that. And so I think that's something to consider as well, is that, we're all still here doing this great work together, and that's something.
Yeah, and you got to remember, I'm going to use, through the chair, I'm going to use the lowest paid salary, the $70,000, with that COLA and with that step increase, that increases that position to $73,000. That doesn't include what we pay for health benefits. Health benefits are either, for a single person, is $16,000. For a single person with a child, the town contributes $24,000 on top of that salary. And for an entire family, the town contributes $32,000 on top of that. So when you factor in what the town pays for health insurance, for dental, and for the retirement, each of these positions is well over $100,000.
Through the chair, do you have enough information from us now to go? Do you feel comfortable recalculating again some of these salaries?
I would absolutely recalculate.
Okay.
Our due diligence that we already did anyway was just looking to get people closer to the average for the size of the community, the amount of the budget for this town. We took all these parameters, put it together, and that's where Sherry came up with that sheet. I think somebody mentioned it recently or at one of the last meetings that, we compared it to Falmouth. Couldn't be any further from the truth. We're not comparing it to Portland, in Falmouth, in Cumberland County. We're not looking at communities like that. We're just looking at communities that are similar to Winslow, population, budget size, so the work. So the approach was look at it, see what the average is, see what some of these positions have, because none of them are treated equal. They're all different. They all have different experience levels as well. And I think there's something to say where you actually end up saving money in the long run with efficiency when you have good retention and you have good employees that do a great job. So there's a lot of things operationally that you're also saving. You look at people like Paul. Sorry, I know we're
not going to go personal.
But certain positions, I will say, bring a lot of money to the town, whether that's grant applications, CDS funds, everything else that they're applying for and doing and bringing to us. So there's kind of a trade-off. Not that I'm not understanding the logic behind this. We're keeping taxpayers' minds, their lives and everything else into consideration as well. But that's why it was an important point, and thank you, Chair, for bringing that up, where the overall actual impact on the mill rate versus all these other discussions that we're having are minimal. My approach for this personally should have been per department, admin, fire, X, Y, and Z. If I'm asking for a 25% increase, knock it down to 10 and let the department head or myself decide where it goes. I think looking at the individual positions and breaking it down in this manner, I feel is the wrong approach.
Through the chair. I disagree with you, Mark. I think that as a council, we have, a right to understand the decision-making that's happening from our town manager and from the folks that we are overseeing. And so for us to not have visibility into that specific data gives us a blind spot, truthfully, of being able to understand and ensure that you're doing the work that we've set you forth to do. And so that said, because of transparency and my passion for it, there shouldn't be a reason that every line item isn't displayed, not just to you and to me, but every member of this community.
Sure.
Because those decisions matter. The thought process behind them matters. And the message that they send to the community, it matters. Whatever the number it is, it is. But there's a story behind that as well that we're responsible to tell and to back up.
Completely understand that. All for transparency. There's also an understanding, I think, industry standard that it's not broken down in this manner, and that's through my own research, looking at other towns. That's the one thing.
But we're Winslow.
But also,
Per our
yeah,
charter,
that's
though,
fair.
I think we're supposed to just approve numbers, and we don't delegate what the town manager or department heads
Again,
do.
I feel like, but
That's not-
plus too, if you're looking at
It's
individual
percentages.
salaries, it's hard to give a clear picture on what somebody may deserve when you don't know the actual personal stuff going on in the background. Again, I use the
Which
example.
can't be talked about.
Which
in
I've
public.
sure
You can't share it with us.
I can't. It's
Don't
illegal.
wanna know. Right.
So
That's right.
if we're sitting here and saying, well, this position's woefully underpaid or grossly underpaid, well, what if there's an issue with this individual and maybe there's an intent why that person's not being brought up to a level, or there's a million things I can't get into when it comes to the personnel conversations. That's why I feel we're trying to execute it, but we're not hitting it fully because legally we can't. So this feels like an uneasy treading water in an area that I understand with the transparency. Legally, there's limits to that, and that's my concern.
I think too that when I looked at this sheet that I made up, that the numbers I read, I wasn't looking at anything except the amounts of money. The money. I'm looking at the money, which is the percent, which is what we're supposed to look at only. I do not need the town manager to come back with any more offers of a raise. I just got done saying I'm not going to approve a raise this year at all beyond what they're already getting. So if anybody else feel that way?
I do. I think, sorry,
Go
Doris,
ahead.
through the chair. I think 3% plus a step is a perfectly acceptable raise and a very standard one.
That is the
I
COLA
agree.
and the step.
I agree, and through the chair, and excellent benefits. These are excellent benefits.
And does anybody else?
I have something to say. Where we come up with these numbers here, and I have to say, and I commend the people who worked on this budget, we had line for line item. We knew exactly where you guys were standing and what we had to do to make this decision. We need the same thing from the school department as well. We have to look at these things very carefully. We can't be missing anything. So I thank the people who worked on this budget wholeheartedly, because you made it very clear to us and where we need to be and where we need to go with this. It was a very hard thing to decide where we needed to do, but we're still not done with it anyways.
Go ahead.
So, through the chair again, but it applies to everybody. Your standard applies to every position. Every position. So no one everybody gets the same under the same scrutiny.
So we have 3 people that they want to settle this tonight. Mike, do you have an opinion on where you're going? Do you want to wait for more information?
No, I don't want to wait for any more information.
There's no
I
need
think
to wait.
I know where you need to be.
How about you, Lee? Are you good, or do you want more numbers?
I mean, I'd like to have a little more numbers, but.
What were you looking for? Are you interested in giving a raise on top of the raises they're already getting? That's the question tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there should be 3 raises.
Well, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
That's not what's being proposed. Everyone.
Anyway, nope,
No,
it's the
yeah,
council
I
right
think
now.
that needs to be addressed, though.
But that's not correct. That needs to be corrected. It's not 3 raises.
Right.
Colon step, one option. Raise in the regular step that's already built in for every individual employee. Those are the 2 separate options.
It's increases in pay. There's 3 separate increases in pay. We'll word it that way. There you go.
Better.
It's 3 increases in pay they're looking for.
Right.
They get 2 increases automatically.
Whichever combination.
So what we're looking for right now is, do you think you want more numbers? Do you want them to get a raise on top of the 2 pay increases they're getting already?
Well, in
Well,
that
it would
case,
substitute one.
I'm okay with, with the COLA and the step. And leave it at that.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Adam?
I'll play devil's advocate. I mean, just as far as the other people on the one end of the line that can't afford it, there's the people that are trying to make the money to support their family, and some of these people live in the town of Winslow, so I'd be willing to look at some different numbers instead of just go with the regular step and COLA.
And you want more numbers?
Nope. I know when things, you know what I mean?
Are not going
that
your way?
Don't make any difference. Don't make any difference whether I get more numbers or not anymore.
All those in favor of
So
keeping,
what I want is, and just to finish, is I don't believe with the process. I think the council's stepping into an area where I don't feel that we have before. I don't feel comfortable doing this particular process.
doing it what way, Ray? You need to
Just, I
explain
think he
that.
should decide, if he needs to decide whether an employee gets more because they feel whatever, that they're underpaid because of the job evaluation that he's done, then he needs to have that. He needs to have
Which
that.
he-
That's his
If we
power,
approve
his
7,
domain.
if we approve 7 for everybody, then he should be able to go, okay, this one gets 5.5, this one gets
Yes.
4.2, and that should be nothing out of what, because we don't do evaluations and
Right,
performance.
that's correct.
That
And
should
that,
be
you
based on
guys are
what he-
right. If we decided to give a 10% increase, we'd give it to Mark and split it up. What we're deciding right now is we don't believe we should be giving a raise on top of the 2 pay increases they're already getting.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about. We're not doing anything inappropriate. We're
Okay, I
talking,
didn't say it was inappropriate, I just said it's different.
it's different. We're discussing the line-by-line pay increases for the staff, so that is what we just did.
Okay.
We just got 5 to 1, 2, 3, 4,
5 to
5 to 2 in favor of, no pay increases this year and sticking with the COLA, except.
Except for the library?
For the library's good. We already decided that
Yep.
at the last one. And the finance director. Oh, can we
You'd have
vote
to
on
have
that?
You'd have to have a vote on that.
The finance director, are you guys good at leaving that person with just the step and the COLA? Or are you in favor of giving the finance director a 9% increase, which would put her or that person at 76.8?
Through the chair.
And that includes the step and the raise.
If you're gonna do one person, it's hard not to do.
Then why do
the
we do
whole-
it line
the
by
whole
line?
thing.
Why do each one have a different amount that they're looking for a raise? Why are those raises
Well,
all
we're doing
different?
salary increases as a whole, not individual increases.
No, we're doing them individual. Look at them. They're all individual.
Through the chair. So we're currently in the process of still benchmarking the finance director position, right? It's a brand new position and is that a fair
Correct.
statement? Okay.
Yes.
Because that makes it a little bit different,
Yes.
I think, at this point. I think we're able to tune that salary in a little bit more at this moment, just because it's a brand new position that is in development. Outside of that, to your point, Adam, I do think there's equity, things that we have to consider when we have such a big swing between employees. But I think in this case, it makes sense based on where we're at.
I agree.
So do we need a show of hands on increasing the financial director's position to 9.2% increase, which brings it to 76,897 from the 70 that position was? Everybody in favor of? 2, 3, 4, that's 5.
No, I'm
Oh,
opposed.
you want to speak?
Yeah.
So anyway, that
It's okay.
passes as
It's-
well.
It's just life.
Are we going to vote on the other positions, or are we good?
You can do each one by yourself if you want. What did you want to do? I think we said no raises for anybody except the library and the finance director.
Correct.
Well, not no raises.
No,
3.5%
sorry.
raises.
They're getting
Pay
your step
increases.
increase and
That's
Pay
right.
COLA.
That's right. I love us to change that language
increases.
because it's not a no, it's a normal, it's an average.
Correct.
Is that it?
I think so. Are we good?
That was it. That
Everybody
was the
good?
last.
Yep.
I think that's it.
We adjourn?
Till next time.
You don't need to adjourn, it's a workshop. We still want to.